YouTube. I'm stinking. Cats! Hey Alex, how's it going? Awesome, can I do? Just gonna break the switch out now. Yo, come! How's it going? Bucky time, is it 8 o'clock yet? Oh, still 3 minutes. I can't open it yet. No, the gig, big, great. Alex was there, like under there. It was lovely. That went pretty well. It sounded pure awful on stage. One of my monitors was blown, so whenever I hit the strings hard, it just went. It sounded like I was hitting, you know, when you hit the strings off the pickups. But I just soldiered on, and there was a couple of my pals took a couple of videos that sounded all right out the front, so it was fine. So I've got another 2 minutes. Now 2 minutes before I can start my bucket. Can't start drinking before 8 o'clock. I've got some class, you know. I've still not stopped playing this telly though. It's awesome. Love it. Now 1 minute before I can start my bucky. It's like it's got one of these things, you know what I mean? Maybe I started drinking when was it last week, the week before, when I managed to pull the camera out and had to restart. That might have been why that happened. Yeah. Hey Andy, how's it going? I'll just shake the bottle for. Come on, 1959. I need to start my phone. Actually says it's not going to be long enough. Actually says 4 minutes past. So it's better a drink by phone time or 1950. Come on, I can open it and smell it for what number it is. It is a number 30. I think this is live stream 130. Is that right? It was only 2 minutes. It was only 10 minutes ago I actually typed that in, so it must be about right. Come on. 8 o'clock, drinky time. So I don't know how long. I was actually on the bucky last night as well, so that's dangerous. But if anyone reminds me, you get a wee treat at the end. You told me, I don't believe you, Kit Kats. You told me the other week that your papa died drinking a bottle that wasn't a 30. I can't remember what it was, in fact. Pretty sure this is last week's bottle. It was a 22. See, that's the problem with lying. You've got to remember what your lie was. Hey, Space Monkey, Kenneth. Hey Ben, hey Aunt Wales, it's a lovely CSL. It's in totally amazing condition. It's in better condition than nearly all my guitars. It does have a few wee chunks kind of around the edge, and there's a wee bit there. It looks like it's been touched up with black paint. A wee bit there, but the neck has nothing on it at all. It's like the neck could be brand new. Yeah, well, it's very Keith. I saw that, but I mean, I don't know why I didn't. I don't really. I don't know. I think maybe I was maybe did my getting mad into the Stones before I played the guitar. I think. Hey, Irish Stew, how's it going? It's like an ongoing Bucky joke. Me and my mates have any time a number is brought up. Fair enough. Okay. But after the end, yes, I wish I'd taken that with me. But I couldn't because I had to get the bus in. But that did mean I could drink. I'd had a wee sneaky half bottle, and because just before we went on, in fact, we'd already come on with the monk outfits and stuff like that, and we were just kind of the DJ. We lost 5 minutes at the start because the music didn't stop, even though we were pure ready to go. I was like, oh, I'll just go and get my wee half bottle of Bucky out my gig bag, which was on the other side of the stage. Went over to the other side of the stage, and next to it was the GoPro, and it was like, oh. So I stuck the GoPro out. So I do actually have a video, and if anyone reminds me at the end, I'll stick it up. I'll stick the link for it. I don't want to put it out because it's a little bit muffled because it's kind of at the front of the stage and you don't see the crowd, but there were people there. You can hear them shouting between the songs. So I'll stick that in the comments if anyone reminds me before, so you can watch it. I don't want to do it just now in case everyone watches that instead of watching this. But yeah. Oh, did you miss this one? Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't afford this. But my plan is I'm going to sell the pickup that came in it. It had came with a Fender, a 1979 Fender pickup, and Seymour Duncan in it, and chrome knobs. And obviously, I was looking at it going like that. Obviously, I'll have to get the witch hat knobs and the pickups. It'd be nice to have the original Max on thing. I'll maybe try and find one of them. And the guy had a poly bag with the original stuff in it. So it's now got the original 74 bridge, the original Max on dated to 74, and the original Max on dated to 74, and the original witch hat knobs. So we're all original, apart from at least one of the pots is new. I had to replace one of the pots that had a push pull in it. There's not really anything I can do with a push pull with this pickup because it's not splittable. And I think these are strap lock type holders. So apart from that, I think it's there. A left-handed LP shape from the 70s, my uncle left me. Wow. Have you just strung it upside down? NASCAR, wow. NASCAR we don't get over here. I mean, I think I don't know how old must have been, maybe about 13 or 14. I remember watching Days of Thunder. That's where my entirety of NASCAR knowledge goes from. So I don't really know that much about it. They've all got it's very tight what it is they're allowed to have. They've all got exactly the same engine and stuff like that. So it's like, so you end up with, it's not like a case of just somebody's just got a faster car, therefore wins every race. So I think it's kind of better that way. An Ibanez J-Craft Prestige RG for $350. Damn it. That's the Team J-Craft ones. The Scots got one. They're fucking amazing. But yeah, I did quite well. That one there's it's not a Team J-Craft one, but it does have 450 quid worth of Seymour Duncans in it. That was only 250. And there's a really nice if you're in Glasgow, there's a really nice is it an RG 570? I don't know what the difference between a 570 and a 470 is. They kind of look the same. I think it's got an edge bridge that doesn't, and it's got like what's the Bill Lawrence LX 400? You know, the one with the blade one, the Nuno Betancourt one, and something else in the neck, and it's 350, and it's a really nice color. Hey Tom, Frank, how's it going? Wasn't that sneaky? You're drinking it on stage. I was, yes. I even managed to get the singer to take a wee drink of it. He took a very small drink. I was like, come on, have a drink. And it's like, obviously peer pressure. You know, you're in front of, on stage, you've got to take it. It's rock and roll. You've got to take a drink of Bucky. So he did sort of. Oh, yes. I'm going for this. No, I had a day off. I did a video on the Mockingbird. So I had a day off, so I'm going to go for the entire week of nothing but tellies and nothing but basically this one. Oh yeah, Cat. So you're going for the old. If you can't think of anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Yeah, a wise man once said that. Not really a man so much. Thumper from Bambi. I remember him saying that. and I don't know when. I don't even think I've ever even seen Bambi. I don't know. I know. I don't even think I've ever seen it. You know, I could have done a bit. Do I really want an interface? It's kind of this one, because it's such a thin. It's a really, really telly pickup, this one, and this is a really, really fat sounding one. It kind of works. I could have done. I mean, out of phase is basically. It's about the only thing I could have done, really. But it does enough. I just put it back. Just go for stock. I could have done it. No, not necessarily, because then I would have to split the. I'd have to take the earth wire off the casing on this, which would involve taking the pickup to bits, which would involve possibly breaking it. Don't want to do that. And the bridge pickup would be the same thing, because it's got the metal base plate, so it's earthed onto the bridge, and this is earthed as well. So I'd have to have broken one of the earths. So, but it was a cool looking. Very. I don't know if anyone's ever gets bought push pull pots. Normally it's only the wee pots. I think they call them dime sized pots. The wee ones that have got the push pull on them, even in the Gibson High Performance, still has the wee pots in it. But the one that was in this was from 1989, so it was actually a big pot with a switch on it. So I'll use that for one of my guitars somewhere. Cheers. Bye, Pontiac. My son's band are supporting Polaris. Cool. Polaris is a cool name. And you think of it as being the North Star, which is cool, but then you get the Polaris missiles, which are in whatever James Bond film it is. That's where I know them from. I don't know what they are now. But, I just noticed that 2 of my Aria Pro 2 cats. I'm surprised you've got more than 2 cats. In 1986, of 2 different truss rod types. One is recessed, the other has the bullet type. I was actually talking to Scott the other day about the bullet truss rod, and basically it's just the bit on the end. Like, how do you turn a normal truss rod into a bullet truss rod? You just get like a longer bolt that goes on the top, which I never really thought about, but I mean, obviously. So I wonder if one of yours might have just been at some point someone swapped it over, because it's from 1986. You know what I mean? It's been a long time. Somebody maybe had a bullet truss rod and put it on, but it's not really the truss rod. It's just actually the bolt. So rather than having a bolt that's that size with the Allen key in it, you get one that's that size and looks like a bullet with an Allen key in the top. So I think that's all there is in it. So that could be it. Yes, Alex, he messaged me. I was looking at it, it's a sustainer. You quite fancy a sustainer. And he was like, Scott's in here as well. You can say hello. Yeah, and I was like, that's a good guitar. I remember it. I remember telling you that you're not selling it a bit cheap because it's got the sustainer's worth a few £100. I think basically Scott bought the sustainer and got the guitar free. But I like that one. I think the sustainer will be getting nicked out, but it might possibly turn into one of these. One of the J-Packs, it's not really sure. Hey, Mr. White, how's it going? We are talking Charles Summerfield. Limited CSL, yeah. The show went good. As I was saying, Mr. White, at the end of the stream before I hang up, if somebody reminds me, I'll put up a wee link to a GoPro the whole thing. I don't really want to put it out live, but I'll put it up unlisted so you can watch it. I'm not going to do that just now in case you end up watching that instead of watching this. So if someone reminds me before I end up, I'll put it up and you can all watch it. It's a wee bit, a bit behind the scenesy. I didn't edit it in any way, so there's a couple of bits that Craig lost his bridge pickup. At one point, I had to play the whole set on his neck, and my monitor was blown, and there was a few disasters, but we just kept going. It's just like, it's quite good. Seen a Kinks video? Oh, the Kinks came back. I always remember the Record Fair, which is the shop I used to. Are still my favourite record shop in town. Had a Kinks record, and they had a sort of whatever you call it, they reformed in the early 80s, and I kept seeing this record, and it was like they were all wearing like 80s clothes, and it was like, so I never bought it, but I know they did do that. A Gibson Victory kind of Pacifica shaped body. Yeah, it was one of their. It's like you see it quite a lot with Fender and Gibson. Both tried to make. It's basically like you say it's Pacifica, so it's basically sort of like it's a Gibson, but they've tried to make something Fendery. And it's like the same. There's Fenders as well that are Gibson-y. There's I can't remember what it's called. There's a Fender that from the 80s that just looks like It's like a solid body 335, and it's like these things, they just never took off because people just want Les Pauls, SGs, 335s, tellies, and strats. They don't want anything else. So they're kind of strange. Oh, I met Jennifer. I just seemed so surprised she was recognised. Yes, I think. Well, it's going to a Black Sabbath gig, I suppose. I like tellies have a great sound change with different pickup selection. Strats just change tone from twangy to not twangy. Sort of. I do like strats as well, but they are quite different. I do quite like this one. I'm enjoying this, having this thick pickup. To be honest, it's justified me having it. Well, that's what I'm using to justify me having it, because I do have Telecasters that have got 2 single coil pickups in it. The way I justified buying the FGN is because I didn't have a Telecaster with 2 single coils in it. So I said, I'm clever. I'm good at this. If you ever need justification for buying a new guitar, I'm the guy to talk to. So you're all right. Yeah, totally. So what's the point of having 2 guitars the same? No. I don't have 2 guitars the same. No, not 2 guitars the same. Why would be that? It's got to be something different. It could be the most stupid thing that's different, but it's got them there anyway. It's the sustainable stay. Yeah. Was the road band good? Yeah, they were good. I don't know. I was angry. I was a bit pissed off at the time because the doors opened at 7, right, and we were there at 4:30, ready to go. I don't think we get into the place till just after 5, and then the Rory Gallagher band set up at I don't know, maybe about 6. No, must have been earlier than that. Maybe about 5:30, something like that. They were set up and ready to go because they were going on after us, and then we got to do our sound check at 7:15. So it was a bit ramshackle, but it was all right. It was good. Australian documentary on YouTube, Easy Beats and more. George Young, the other guitarist, became songwriters and producers for many other bands, Blood and Thunder, The Sound of Alberts. Yeah, what were they called? They called the Easy Beats. You've already said Easy Beats. I read it out, but I didn't. I don't know, I didn't know it was an E and a Z. I thought it was just Easy as an EASY. But yes, I know they were relatively big. And what they used to do was, because he's the older brother of Malcolm and Angus, they used to write songs, take them to George, and George would rearrange them and play them on piano to make sure they worked, sort of thing. And then, to help them sort them out to make it into a song rather than just being a couple of riffs, sort of thing. And then they would take them and then duck them back up, make them sound like AC/DC, apparently. I think he even Vanda Young. I think I think maybe they produced or recorded or something. I'm definitely I can picture seeing that in the back of records. All right. It's Easy Beats, it's easy. Actually, it doesn't work here. Pontiac, that we end up with WXYZ. So Z, that's how ZZ Top is. Obviously it's ZZ Top because it's ZZ Top, but if they came out here, it would be ZZ Top. And same with the ZZB Deluxe, which doesn't, with the Aria guitars I use, it's like, it is a ZZB. Well, I don't know how the Japanese say it, but it's always like, I always remember that from Sesame Street. I can't remember what other things I noticed. What was the other thing? The band Living Colour. I remember reading an interview with them years ago, and they were talking about they were being all clever with their band name like that because they spelled colour with a O-U-R. So like that pure, yeah. So it's meant to be because it's like our living our, it's little smart playing words, and then obviously they come over to playing Britain, and everyone's like that. Huh? It's because that's just how we spell colour. Yeah, don't say it any different. Just spell it differently. Hey, Ponty get videos that I've not seen. Do you have a YouTube channel? I'm sorry for being that ignorant. I never even thought of looking. Yeah, no, the other band were good. Actually, the bass player, I was talking to him for a wee bit. I was talking to him for about an hour and a half. He was slagging me off for drinking Monster, quite aggressively, about how bad it was for you and how you shouldn't drink that shit. Then after 5 minutes of brutal slagging, he pulled a can of Monster out his own pocket. I was like, I quite liked him. And then I think it was after they'd sound checked, or maybe even after we'd played, we're out the front. It was like, top, blah, blah. I mentioned YouTube. He was like, I know you from YouTube. I was like, you didn't say that. I've been talking to you for hours. So there you go. In fact, there's your Vanda. George Young and Harry Vanda. Yeah, they've been the Aussie rock scene. They were, I don't know when the time was. Because what was Bon Scott's? Did you ever see the first band Bon Scott was in? Were they called the Valentines? Like a 60s. I think he's basically got like a Diana Ross and the Supremes haircut. And they're on like, I don't know, the Australian equivalent of Top of the Pops in black and white, wearing these big silk shirts. And he's kind of standing at the back doing backing vocals, and it's Bon Scott. It's kind of bizarre. Harry Vanta and George Young, allegedly Harry and George from Sultans of Swing. Possibly. Yeah. Like, it could be. And it was like, said an old guitar is all he can afford. How badly is that dated? That was Sultans of Swing's what, 78 though, and I think vintage guitars didn't. Obviously, people wanted a 50, like an original 58 Gibson and a pre CBS Fender, but the whole vintage guitar wasn't really a word until the early 80s, and still until the Japanese JV Fenders came out. When they started looking back, up until that point, Gibson and Fender were still evolving. That's why things like this came out. And they kind of, okay, this model came out in 72, but the rest of the guitars kind of built more like a 60s one. It doesn't have the 3-bolt neck and it doesn't weigh a ton and all that. So it's kind of, the Japanese were sort of doing this vintage guitar thing, but it's like, an old guitar is all you can afford. And it's like, well, that doesn't work now. It's like old guitars are more expensive. This one wasn't, but if you're looking at Fenders and Gibsons. The monster logo is, I've seen that. There's a YouTube video of some crazy Bible bashing creationist woman from the Salt Lake City or something going on about how the monster logo is 666 and thing, meaning if you hold it on its side, it says monster, and she's got about 10 different ways which make it satanic. And you're like, yeah. I think you can make anything satanic. I doubt it's the whole 666 thing's not right anyway. If you actually go back early enough in the wherever it was translated into English, or from the original text to whatever it got translated into, it was actually 606. And whoever it was translated it went, it can't be 606, it must be 666. Even though I don't know. I do watch a guy called Aaron Ra sometimes on YouTube, who's, just because I think he's funny, I like him, but he's got the patience of a saint with these mad people telling him that, what was it someone was trying to say? Fossils weren't real. Right? And he's like, there's some mad people in America. There's some mad people here as well, but they don't generally tend to be listened to, whereas in America they are. Kind of mad. I have 5 subscribers and only Joseph Jeffrey from this chat is not anonymous. The Lurkers. You've got Lurkers. But you get 5 subs and you all know who one of them is. Sorry, Pontiac. I will sub to you after this if I remember. So 666 is what you phone for the police in Australia. Because we're 9, it doesn't work with it'd be 116 in America, wouldn't it? Because you're 911, we're 999. But actually, did you know that? What's some pointless crap trivia? See, 999 for like an ambulance or the police here. It also works. There's also another number you can use. Fucking can't remember what it is. That's really annoying. And the reason you can use this other number is in case the 9 on the phone you're trying to dial for doesn't work. Or is it because of the rotary ones? Because you used to get rotary phones. I vaguely remember them. I'm just old enough. Never had one, but my grandma did, and it was like you had to do 9. You had to go and then go zzz, and it would like put clicks to the line. So I think it was like 111 or something like that. Was you could also use if your phone was burst, because if you had to, obviously, if you're thinking about having to go all the way around to 9 and then letting it rotate, if your phone's burst, chances it might only go up to 1. So you go, and it was quicker. Oh, hey, Dunk Mac. Ozzy joined a Christian process outside one of his own gigs. Yes, I've heard that before as well. 668, a neighbour of the beast. The evil ones adopt the mythos. I know. The problem is, it's like the whole Hail Satan thing. Do you know? I'm getting demonetized anyway. But the whole Church of Satan thing, which is a thing in America, here, it's not. It's like just no God as opposed to being Satan. Because if you believed in Satan, the only people that believe in Satan are Christians or religious people. So I don't. You got to believe in both, I suppose. You can't. No, I don't. No, Pontiac. I just never knew. Sorry. Told me cousin 999 was the number of the ice cream van. Oh dear. Why would you want to phone an ice cream van though? I don't think your wee cousin was very bright. He was trying to phone the ice cream van. I suppose you could phone and say, when are you coming round to Wilson Avenue? Maybe. Oh, you're not having to turn off comments, are you? Oh shit, man, that's terrible. Mind you, I don't know what it is you're doing. I mean, you could be up there spouting all the rubbish. Well, I still get shite all the time. I got someone earlier on, someone who was just a keyboard warrior. I was playing one of those Vox guitars. He was like, "You're not playing anything 60s remotely. How come there's no Brian Jones Stones?" So my reply was, "This is the guy I fixed it, the guy from the Bucky Rage. This is the third one I'd done. If you go back to the first one I'd fixed like 3 weeks before this, I'll be playing. I think I played the last time, and it was like, oh, I'll go and check your other videos. Like, yeah, got another 2 views out of them." Yeah, Mr. Whitestick, I think that's don't say promises you can't keep. But it's like Dorothy she's pretty extreme, the lab skeleton. Haven't seen her for a while. Yeah, you can be talking shite's different from being a dick. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I've got no problem with it's a bit weird when it's somebody you don't know. You know, it's like someone's making jokes, kind of, and you're like, I don't know who you are. Whereas it's someone you do know, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's we'll try and get you into double figures, Pontiac. There we go. I'll use my influence. So if you've not subscribed to Pontiac Saviro there, do it, and then we'll get you up into 10, and that'll make a difference. And then I'll be able to reply if you say anything. Yeah, so there we go. What are you at now? You must be at 7 now. That's a fair percentage increase. What, 5 to 7 is like, that's like 40% or something like that. I don't really get any bad. Sorry, I'll try and up my game, Mr. Whitestick. I'll say something really offensive. I'm totally going to say something really offensive. I'm going to do that after this. Fuck it. I'm going to up. Your Japanese guitars are rubbish. I was talking to my luthier, and he told me that they're rubbish, so they are, and I believe him. I looked up the internet, and the internet told me. I don't even play the guitar, but I've got an axe to grind. I was going to try and fit a humbucker in one of my tellies, but not sure how to do it. I don't have a router. Have you ever heard? I don't know if they've still got them. You know what a Forstner bit is? To have a there's one there, right? That's a Forstner bit. And in a telly, you've got a scratch plate that hides a lot of damage, so you can route out below it pretty easily just using that and a drill or one of these. I got them in Lidl. It was like a $5 for a set. So just route out where you want to go, and then to cut the scratch plate, to take a humbucker. Pros like myself use a Dremel, which may or may not be lying on the floor somewhere. I don't know where it is. I think I was using it in the garage, kept bored going to get it. But you can do it with a file. Just or just use a bastard file, and the reason it's called that because you'll just have to go bastard, it'll take you ages, but you can do it. It's quite good. The thing is, if you put a coil split switch on the humbucker, like on a push-pull pot or something like that, then you've kind of not lost anything. You've still, if you've got it in split mode, you've still got all the Telecaster sounds. So it's pretty good. It's a worthwhile mod, and the thing about that as well is they'll see, or even just buy a scratch. Just look at well, I don't know how much they are now. I remember buying a pile of Esquire scratch plates. You know, basically a telly scratch. Not, I'm pointing at this one, but you know what I mean, a normal telly scratch plate. And I think they were from China. It was like something like £3 each. I think I bought 5 of them. It was like, it was like 12 or 13 quid or something like that delivered. And then I've used them all up. But I mean, if you've just, that's like that. So when you're talking about maybe paying less than $10 for one that's just humbucker routed, and then you don't have to do that. And then anything that's behind it, basically what you do is you take the scratch plate off, take the other pickup out, draw it on, just draw on it with a pencil, and then just batter it out with drill bits and a chisel and shit. It doesn't really matter what's in behind it because you can't see it. That's what I would do. Aldi are selling them, right? It was Lidl. I don't go to Aldi anymore. I used to split my time between Lidl and Aldi because when I stayed in Lindsay, they were both about the same direction. You could either go out towards Rob Royston and go to Aldi, or you could come this way and go to Lidl. But now, whenever I go anywhere, really anywhere, I drive past the Lidl, which is like, I don't know, 3 minutes by car away, and a fucking much longer than that walking. But I very rarely go to Aldi. I find it actually quite exciting when I'm over at yours, Scott, or up here. Aldi, I've not been in Aldi for ages, and you look at all different types of cold meat and stuff. It's great. Slightly different things. Hey, Sloan Ranger, yes, it went okay. As I was saying, I'll stick up a wee link at the end of this of an unlisted video just of the performance, just so you know it actually happened. But it went down really well. But we're seem to be quite liking it. But I listen to Irish, listen to your Driving South. I think I should probably know what Driving South is, but I can't remember. Oh. Stupid question. Fresnel bit on a cordless drill. Forstner. I don't know what a Fresnel bit is. Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about a drill. I'm not talking about one of your. I'm not talking about Harley Benton drill. You know, I'm rocking a DeWalt. You know, that's a fucking drill. None of your. It just goes. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree that. See, I mean, I was never. I was working with my dad. Me and my dad had like a couple of Black and Decker drills, and we were using them, and it was like, these drills are great. You know, it's got a screwdriver and a drill, and it's that's why would you want to buy one of those DeWalts? And did I forget to take it? I was building a fence. I think the battery ran out, and I got a shot of Kevin the plumber's DeWalt, and it was just, oh my god! After like 5 minutes, like dad, have a shot of this. He's like, oh, these are the expensive ones. Like, oh my god! So basically, if you're buying a drill to put up a shelf, then you don't need a DeWalt. If you're going to buy a drill that you're going to use every day for building fences and shit, buy a DeWalt. They're so much better. Could be Lidl. I could never remember. It was Lidl. I got mine. I told you that it was I was when I was going to try and do the PGM. This was like 3 or 4 months ago, and I was trying to do something else with the Forstner bits. So and for that, I wanted epoxy, and I was in Lidl just the week after that. I was walking through. I was happy. I was going to have a look. The chances of them having that epoxy thing. They fucking had epoxy and Forstner bits. Because I'd spent the night before trying to find them, and I basically just gave up. They're in a packet somewhere, and I just couldn't find them. It's one of those things that once you've been looking for half an hour, you start going, sod it. But yeah, they're just handy to have. Oh. Hey, you've got 9 subscribers. Come on, somebody else subscribe. Hey, Stratocaster, get them up to 10. Get them up to 10. See, let's even get up to 15. Triple your sub count. You only have to get to 14 because I'll sub after this. Driving South Hendrix. I don't know. I don't really know that much Hendrix. Oh, have you heard about the Hendrix guitar? Jen doesn't know this, but there'll be a video of me playing a guitar that was actually played by Jimi Hendrix. Scott knows about it. Doesn't know that I'm going to do it, but you're holding the camera, Scott. Yeah. So I will actually going to be playing a guitar that was played by Jimi Hendrix several times. Yeah. I don't want to ruin the story, but actually, it's fucking manky as well. But the strings on it are pure rusty as fuck, and we were hoping that those might be the actual strings that Jimi Hendrix played. And then some dicks like that, I remember when that blah, 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 I changed the strings on that 20 years ago. Because I was thinking, what, an actual string? I was like, the guitar, I'll treat the guitar with the respect it deserves. But I mean, if we're talking about changing the strings on it, I'll have one of a string played by Jimi Hendrix, and I'll do something with that. I'll recess it in one of the guitars or something. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting a wee bit. I'm painfully aware I'm running out of thingy. Jake ex USA military is a what YouTube channel about current conflict. He posted his first short, 1 million views, $70. So he said, "There you go." I think for 1 million views, I don't know about the shorts because apparently it goes by. Yeah, I'm a drill snob. But that's the thing as well when you're talking about. No, it doesn't really work that way, does it? I understand that if you're going on tour. No, it doesn't really make any difference. Yeah, I'm a drill snob. Fuck it. What are you saying about it? I've even got a DeWalt belt somewhere. Trousers Barky, it was Makita. Don't really get. Never. Did I have Makita? I've had the guy I knew, Kevin the plumber, his pal Wolfie. Can't remember his real name was. He didn't have a DeWalt. He had a Bosch. Fucking DeWalt's are the best. Obviously, I just bought one last week. DeWalt's is like, aye, bish bash Bosch, job done. It's like, bastard. So Bosch as well, because, and then it's like, how are Bosch better? Bish bash Bosch, job done. Damn it. So yeah, Bosch as well. Just because you can say that, if anyone ever says DeWalt's are better, you just go bish bash Bosch. Like, fuck. You've lost. The drill cost me a tenner about 15 years ago. I keep waiting for it to die, but it's still going strong. Fair enough. No, I mean, it depends what it is you're doing. I mean, that one there I've got there, the battery, and it's crap. It doesn't last anything like it used to. It was just one left over from work. But if you're like literally spending like 7 or 8 hour shifts all day putting in plasterboard screws, it's worth it having a really good one. If you're putting up a shelf and then maybe every now and again fixing something, or like I'm doing, occasionally drilling a hole in a guitar, it doesn't need to be a DeWalt. But if you're putting in, like 6,000 screws a day, it's worth it. It's worth it. Hey, Jeff. I'd like to have been there, but Glasgow hotel prices Saturday night are horrendous. Spent the night watching Oasis on telly. Look, fuck off. So I was all pure. Oh, that's fine. I'll give you a link to the video. Nah, fucking Oasis pish. Going to do some covers now for Fun's Sorrow as synthpop and Normie Rao. I don't know what they are. Have you seen all the £50 Yamaha guitars on Facebook and Falkirk? I have not. No, that sounds interesting. It's not. There was one in. I've seen two. I assume it's the same one. A Yamaha SE series, which are the ones before the RGX, which was before the Pacifica. So I think they're about 1986. I had one. There's a white one I saw last week, and it was 50 quid. And then there was another white one, the same model, for sale. There's a guy in Paisley selling a pile of guitars. But don't go and buy them because I think Scott and Jen are going to go and look like ones, bits of guitars. They are good. They are good guitars. I had one that was a single humbucker one. Back in the days when I thought I wanted a single, so I really want a single humbucker guitar, single pickup guitar. I want one of them. And then literally 2 weeks later, I had like 4 of them, and it was like, how the fuck did that happen? It was really annoying. We got not Black and Decorate too bad if money's tight. They invented the concept. Oh no, they're fine. No, they're fine. Yeah. They invented the cordless drill. I don't know, but it was Makita. Is it Paul Gilbert was and still is sponsored by Makita drills, although he has to have them modified. Like you see, one of the things you notice when you put it from the Black and Decker to the DeWalt is it a clutch it's got. See when you drill it and you let go, it just goes boom and stops. It's also got a light so you can see what you're doing. But this one's obviously old and a bit knackered. But it's got that doesn't suit for. Yeah, so pick up the drill, and yes, obviously I tried putting picks on the drill bit and I did it. But the Paul Gilbert, you want one that doesn't have a clutch, so that when you let go of it, goes and slows down rather than going yeah. So he has to get them modified, but because of his Makita thing, and you can just imagine Paul Gilbert getting a phone call because he used to do his drill solos, and this is in the 80s because it was a cordless one, so it was a Makita drill. So, we want to sponsor you, and Paul's like, yeah, fuck it, because he's a funny guy. Someone with less of a sense of humor. I think he gets, I think he gets given them every time you bring out a new model or something like that. I don't think it's a proper sponsorship deal. It's like they've just agreed it. I noticed you're using one of our Makitas. Do you want to keep using the Makitas and we'll give you like a t-shirt every now and again and take you out to dinner? I think it's one of those things. Oh, Yamaha's aren't my 41. Looks like an ERG 121. They're fucking good guitars. Hey Jen, there's the famous artist Jen there who came to my gig last night, or our gig, sorry, after the ends gigs. Painteth some of these guitarists. Yeah, no, that's Jen. Look that up. In Falkirk, apparently someone's selling a pile of Yamahas for 50 quid. Those ERG ones. We've done a couple of them, and they're fucking good guitars to mess about with. Norman Rowe was an Aussie 60s pop singer, went to Vietnam, decorated. I don't know who that is. Oh, bad. See, that's put me off it now already. Sloan Ranger, when it's up here, yeah, it's like Sellers of Rockwood, a BC Rich as well. The Warlock was £100 earlier, and now it's 200. So suddenly, it's like that's one of those ones where it's like, "Hi, I'm interested in this," and he's got 10 messages in the first half hour, and he's going, oh, "Fuck it, pull it off, put it back on again." That doesn't sit right with me. No, I wouldn't buy a guitar off that person. Fuck it, doesn't really matter how good it is. It's like there's a I can't be bothered with people that do that. I've seen that before as well. When you like you phone up about guitars, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's sold," and then goes back on tomorrow for 3 times the price because they've realised, oh, half a dozen people wanted this in the first half hour. I'll get more for it. No, I'll be up your dick. Nah, arsehole. I don't know. Maybe they are, Alex. 80s Japanese. Don't know. Possibly. I wouldn't have thought. The thing is, it's like, but there's a technology thing in something like a drill. It's not like a guitar. Whereas, okay, this is from 1974, but it's damn it. It's a copy of a 1972 guitar, but I mean, basically, it's kind of this is still it's got a humbucker in it, a slightly different layout, but all the technology aspects of this are from the 50s. And if you go into guitar just now and try and buy one of these, they still sell them. They're just like this. Whereas drills have changed, like other things, cars and phones and all that all have got technologically better. Whereas guitars, I mean, even I've got some pretty, you would still class as modern guitars. What you mean, something like the Paul Gilbert or something that's got a Floyd Rose on it. That's like, but really, how different is it? Really, mostly to a Strat. Pretty much, and all of them are just kind of slightly different shape, but there's no more technology in it. 2 ladies in the chat. Yeah, I need to check. I think it might be above my 0.4% female audience. Up here getting sexier. Yeah. Burnt out at 24 Bosch out. We're drilling oak beams in a 1600s pub in Totnes. Not far from Buckfast. It's not like fuck had to leave the room for half an hour. Yeah. Drilling, I think Scott knows about oak beams. He built a guitar out of old church oak beams. Where all Americans were all calling them a Satanist, and how it wasn't. Did you get it deconsecrated or blessed or something? It's weird. But there you go. Yeah. Uncle Falkirk was going to us. No, I think those Yamaha ERGs are excellent guitars. The only thing, there's a much better model. If it's a newer one and it's got a black headstock instead of a wooden headstock, that's a better one because it just doesn't look like the cheapest guitar. Whereas it does, it's basically just, I can't remember if it's got a trem or not, but they're fucking great guitars. They're just really boring to look at. That's why I want Jen to buy them. It's like, those are because they're fucking brilliant guitars. The only thing wrong with it is you look at it and it looks like the cheapest guitar you can get. It's just a black body, very minimalist, and the neck, the headstock's not gloss. It's just kind of that. It's just bare wood, and it's like you can kind of tell looking at it it's cheap, but the bits that are important are all good. Run in with the ghost soldier. Where's Wendy Chapman? I recognise the name Wendy Chapman. Who's that? The other Yamaha looks like an RGX121Z. Could be, yeah. That the RG, basically the RGX. It's kind of the ARG's kind of a continuation. It's like what's the Ibanez I had, the one that turned into a Buckycaster, the RX series, where it's not quite as pointy as that, but it's getting there. It's kind of more like that than it is like a Strat, but still somewhere in between the two. Whereas the RGX is basically that, so it's kind of like that sort of a Strat, somewhere between a Strat and an RG shape. But I mean, no, I don't think there's ever been a Yamaha guitar ever built that wasn't better than anything Harley Benton have ever built. Argue in the comments if you want. I just don't. I wouldn't trust it. I mean, if you're talking about one of those Yamaha ERGs or anything from the Harley Benton catalogue to play, obviously, if someone said, "I'm going to give you one of these two," it's like, well, I'll take the Harley Benton because I know I'll get 300 quid for that because it's one of the expensive ones. But it's up here, right? We're going to have a jam right now. We're going up on stage in this hypothetical jam night I go to. I don't. Which one do you want to play? I'd fucking take the Yamaha. Yeah. We burn through about 2 or 3 gels a year and work, just get cheap ones now. Oh, maybe that's. I mean, I've never really burnt them through. We did end up with quite a few of those DeWalt's though, because I kept seeing them in special offer and ones that. Best one was it was an electric screwdriver, a DeWalt one, and it was down from 90 quid to a tenner because it didn't have a battery. I was looking at it, it's a funny shaped battery. We're never going to get it. It was like, and then I was in the trade point in B&Q, looking in the bin where we were waiting in the queue. There's a bargain bin. Looking, I was like, a funny looking DeWalt battery for a £5. Oh, look at that. Hold on a second. Ran it to the shop, got the thing, clipped it in. It worked, and then it was like, right, I don't know if we've got a charger for it. And then went to the charger, and it fitted in at the normal charger, so I ended up getting a DeWalt electric screwdriver, 15 quid. Brilliant. Just because at some point the box must have burst, and the drill and the battery had got split up, and one of them ended up in a bargain bin over by the tills, whereas the other one was at the other end of the shop where the drills were. Hey Daniel, went well. If someone reminds me, I'll stick a link up at the end so you can all watch it once we finish this. Wendy has been here. Then there's Penelope as well. Penelope. We don't. I'm not even sure Penelope's human. No, she's dead, isn't she? No. Is it Dorothy? Who was Captain America's? Yes, I did. Honestly, when I watched the Captain America film, every single time Bucky was mentioned, it was like pure. Listen, first time it was like, did he say is the name Bucky? That's hilarious. Used to work in P&Q. Good job. The staff 20% discount is best. Well, fair enough. Staff discounts are good. I used to get a staff discount in the Co-op. I don't think it was 20% though. I take it you're basically what you want to do with that is like just like if anyone else wanted anything, you just give them a 10% discount. Steal it. I think to be honest, Ian, I bet you drill technology's changed a little bit. And it's different. It's one of those things that see if there works stuff, like the works van, do you look after the works van? Especially if other people are using it, so it's not necessarily your fault. You don't necessarily get the blame for driving it through a field because you couldn't be bothered going around it. But if it's your own one, maybe they would. I bet you wouldn't burn them out quite the same way. Oh. Yeah, so this was the one that I actually bought thinking I was looking up a video, did a video last week, it was like, what kind of going to get another J-Pax guitar painted, so what should I get? And basically the telly's the obvious one that's missing. So I saw this, it was really cheap, and then when it came in the condition it was, it's not happening. Would you make it to the end of Captain America if you had a slug every time Bucky is mentioned? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think Captain America was round about the time when I realised that Marvel films weren't for me. I quite liked Iron Man and a couple of them, But a lot of the other ones, I kind of watch it, and it'd be sort of entertaining through it, and then it was like you could ask me after. It's like, oh, so what happened in it? And it's like, well, it wasn't really a story as such. There was a bit where they were fighting in a skyscraper, and they were all kind of like that. I totally gave up. I get totally sick, bored of Marvel films ages ago. I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy ones because they're quite funny. But I mean, all the other ones, there's so many of them I've watched like 15, 20 minutes of. And then it's like, oh, I need to go for a piss. I'll just pause it. And then you go, actually, why? I'll just fucking turn it off and watch something else. Maybe I'm not in the right mood. But I mean, I've never seen any of the Avenger ones. I think I tried to watch one of them, and it was just you're just watching it. And it's just like, fucking hurry up! Is this nearly over yet? I just no interest in it at all. It's shit. I don't mind shit films. I mean, me and Scott watched The Meg 2, a couple of weeks ago, and it was fucking awesome. It was really, really stupid, really silly, and really crap, but thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through. What's going to happen next? That genuinely excited with what was happening. That's how you make a bad film, not just boring crap. If I drink half a beer these days, it just puts you to sleep. That sounds like quite good value for money, to be honest. No. I'll try and play. Oh, I'll play as much of Iron Man as I think that I can on the guitar, even though it's the bass I play. And it's very important to play the bass well for Iron Man. It makes such a difference whether you know, it's the sliding between notes, which I'm going to do here on the guitar. That's got to be a slide. You can't go. No. I play the bass in it normally. Nobody wants him. He just has his reason. Oh. No, that's... Nobody wants him. He has his reason. But at that point, I just go. That's why I play the bass. That rehearsal stage. That's Berkeley. The thing is, we've not really been using that place very much, but I think it strengthened us. That was one of the things I think we had over why they took an hour and a half to sound check. We only had 15 minutes. They've got their own studio, like above the guy builds amps. He's got like a shop, and they've got a rehearsal studio constantly set up, which we used to have in the band I was in as well. But we're going to play in not very good studios, so we've got to set up from the scratch so we can kind of adapt to any situation. That's how we managed to play in that tent, and it was actually good. But not everyone can just go in and play in a tent, and it's fine. We're used to mixing it ourselves rather than having your very comfortable setup. So when we went into Berkeley, which is in Glasgow, the reason you can't get in is you have to book 3 weeks in advance to get a slot. 3 weeks. So it's obviously popular, but it's a wee bit sterile. It used to always remind me. I mean, I think the first time I was ever in the studio, it was in there like 25 years ago. It's a bit sterile. So you've got like grey carpet, white walls, fluorescent lights, and then every room's exactly the same, as in it's just the drums, 2 Marshalls, same desk, same or very similar bass amp. The only thing that difference is the door. Sometimes, normally you come in, so there's the drum kit, the bass amp, the guitar amp, but the door's there. And then some of them, the door's there. And then some of them, the door's there. But the rest of the studio is all the same. So you get like a pure... It's really good for actually if you're going into work, which I suppose is what a studio should be. But obviously we went in there and it fucking sounded great. CGI films answer to auto-tuning. Possibly. Yeah, but there's CGI and there's CGI. Yeah. It's like it's the whole CGI thing where you don't notice it's CGI, it kind of works. Yeah. I mean, if you look at some... Actually, I don't know, has anyone ever watched the Terminator 2? I think it came on the DVD, actually. Because that was all the CGI stuff. Not as much... There's not that much CGI in it, really. Like, see the bit where you see, like, fucking... The policeman guy, Robert, whatever his name is, and his head split in half because he's been chopped with an axe or something. That's just him in a mad suit. So it's like they kind of cut it in, and then it's like the CGI is between certain stages. So it's like pure me like this, and then got a cut down to here, and then got a cut down to here. That's like 3 different shots with me wearing different suits, obviously with my arm out and fake shit on it. And then the CGI is kind of to morph between, like a couple of frames between things, as opposed to just being, just make it in computers. That riff is easier at the 7th fret. I play the bass. Maybe it is. Maybe, yeah. Don't know. I always feel it's like you're playing. I was actually talking to Scott this other day. It's like watching a video of me playing. It's like, that's pretty shit because in the bass, it's like you don't really. I'm just like, it's not very cool. You kind of. So I'm trying to do a little bit more. So for that, I need to get along there to see if I get my 1977 Marshall fixed. Yeah, go to Fretronics. I hope the guy, the bass player, knew me. So I hope he's not watching this. But yeah. No, Flying Amps did me a dirty a few years ago. Really ripped me off. So, and the guy from Fretronics, Ollie, is fucking brilliant. So I would go to him instead. People up in arms because Jagger used auto-tune in their new song. Oh, maybe, yeah. Oh, did someone say what's your best? What's the best film ever? See, I've got a few. Live and Let Die. That's pretty good because it's got the music in it. It's got a 20-minute speedboat chasing it. And it's funny. Yeah. They Live. I honestly only saw They Live about 2 or 3 years ago. I saw Justin Hawkins referring to it and I listened to it. I don't know. Don't ask Scott about the Stones. I like the Stones. There's the fact that they're still going and people actually get to go and see them, and they are a good show. It was one of the first bands I ever saw. Like, I think it was the 3rd band I ever saw. Primal Scream, Page and Plant, the Stones. But I don't tell anyone about Primal Scream. I didn't enjoy that. And it was like down at Wembley Stadium, and it was like 16 or 17 or whatever it was. Oh, fucking amazing! So I mean, for that, but that was okay. They were a wee bit better then. But I mean, they're still doing it, so it's fine. After Excel, I've no interest. Yeah, I like X. I think maybe it's because Excel is one of those ones that everyone always says is amazing. It's not my favourite. I prefer Goat's Head Soup's good because I don't know, it's got a couple of really good Mick Taylor guitar bits on it. But They Live. I couldn't believe how good that. I was like one of those films I saw. I'd moved into this house. I remember watching it. It was like I didn't know what it was. I was just watching it. It was like kind of. What just happened? This is fucking mental. It's one of those ones that you've seen bits of, like referenced in The Simpsons and shit, but I've never actually seen the film. Fucking great. I did see the guy dressed as a cowboy. Who was he? Rory Gallagher, maybe? I don't know. Something to do with that. He had a holster. I didn't see that. No, but I mean, Blazing Saddles. So it's like Blazing Saddles or Airplane 1, 2 and 2 and Top Secret. Yeah, Blazing Saddles might be the best film ever. Full Metal Jacket is also amazing. Totally. Flash Gordon. But it's like, depends, I suppose, what's the situation where you're trying to be. I mean, it's the thing is, I can watch fucking see like Commando or Predator. I remember when Predator came out in DVD. I'd seen it before, but it came out in DVD. It was fucking glorious because I had it through the hi-fi. And because of I don't know, maybe just the way the sound was mixed on the first DVDs, I had it through the hi-fi, and you're sitting there going through the jungle. It's like you can hear a wee bit of rustling, crickets in the background. I know that then something happened. It was fucking explosions, machine guns. It'd be amazing. There's quite a lot. There's 10. I can't limit it down to one. I decided a few years ago to limit it down to what my favourite song is. It's Symptom of the Universe. Bang. My top 10 has Paint It Black in it, has Live and Let Die in it, and other songs which I can't remember right now, but they're in it. But Symptom of the Universe is the best one. I don't know. He's moved Frettronics. I don't know where he's moved to. He used to be in where CNC Music was in the West End, but he's a good guy. His name's Ollie. He. I don't know. You do have to give him money. So I had to give him money. You know, if you give him an amp or something like that, maybe not so much that Marshall, but it's like he doesn't want to. Obviously, you give him the amp, he fixes it, and then the bill is 100, whatever it costs, 100 quid or whatever. But he's already taken it to bits, sorted out to get you a quote, and then somebody could go up here. Well, it's going to cost 100 quid to fix. That will cost a tenner. Fuck it, I'll just not do anything. And he's stuck with a fucking broken amp. You know, I get that. So I mean, I think it was 50 quid or something. He charges you immediately, which comes off your bill at the end, but it's like 50 quid minimum because he's going to have to spend an hour to take it to bits and fix it, which I think is reasonable. He doesn't do the right. I'm in the Transformers humming, and then that's all sorted. Get a phone call, take it back, come home, and the Transformer still hums, and it's like you look at this thing, it's like cleaned all the pots, 150 quid, but it was the Transformer was the problem, not pots. You know, it's like, take my car in, the brakes are fucked. Right, okay, cool. I was like, I've got my car back, here you go. It's like, oh, we didn't look at the brakes, no, but we gave it a good clean, and we fixed the bumper on. Right, but being dirty and having a bumper hanging off, I wanted brakes done. So, yeah, it could have just been a bad thing. Get a wee bit behind. I saw somebody say Vantage Avenger there, though. I'll have to scroll up for that. That sounds good. Airplane, The Life of Brian, Grease, Blazing Saddles. No, nothing good since 1990. Oh, it must be a good film since 1990. Genuinely the best film in the last 20 years. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. You're not going to remember that, but it'll be on. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once was the best film I've seen, like a proper film. I'm actually getting fucking goosebumps thinking about it. I need to watch it again. I've only seen it once, but it was fucking amazing. Absolutely mind-blowing, fantastic. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Check that out. That's the best film I can think of in the last 10 years anyway. And obviously, you can look at maybe the Lord of the Rings films were fucking pretty good. Maybe. I don't know if they're either really good, they're brilliant, but I'm not going to watch it lots of times. The thing is, you get films that... There's films that are really good, and it's one of my favourite films, and how often do you watch it? Whereas there's films that I know I've seen 10, 20, 30 times, and I will see them 10, 20, 30 times. And it's not necessarily the best films. The Fifth Element is one of those. I'll watch that hundreds of times. Okay, and I'll still continue watching it because it's just so much fun. Flash Gordon's kind of the same as Flash Gordon, and Top Secret, and Airplane, and all these ones. These are films that I am going to watch many more times in the future. Good, the Bad, the Ugly as well is a relatively recent one for me because it's fucking amazing. JD and Brothers and an offset guitar like the Avenger, Strat style input jack is on the back next to the control cavity. Cool. It's interesting to see. I'm still amazed by the Strat input socket. Okay, the one in the corner. You know what a Strat input? You can't see it because of the curtain, but you know what I mean. What a great thing that is. The idea of it not being there, which is shit, which means you can't play it when you're sitting on a settee, and not being in the front, which means you can't stand on it and snap it, but actually coming in at an angle, like, yeah, it's great, but it doesn't look right on any other guitars. It's kind of got to be a Strat. I'm not a fan. I would rather have an input on the front than having it in the corner. I don't like this at all. You just accept it. But it's just that whole thing. It's better. This one's not too bad because you can actually sit it flat on the ground. But see some guitars when it's kind of too far round, which means you have to take the lead out to sit it on the floor. Just going to no do that. Mickey Mouse Breaking Away, 79. I don't know that film. To be fair, maybe I do know it, but that's a shit name for a film. As in, I don't remember it. I can't knock the film. It's just Breaking Away. It just sounds like nothing. No, I can't remember it. I've forgotten it already. Another vote for Strictronics. Always a spot on guy. Took my near dude 600. The guy virtually rebuilt it. Good as new. Yeah, no, he's a nice guy as well, man. He fixed my what do you call it? My Yamaha MIDI guitar when a few folk had failed at it before, and he was really honest about it. And I think it didn't charge me very much money, but I think, to be honest, all it was wrong was a switch. But he replaced it, and he was like, but it's kind of, I don't know, I kind of know him a wee bit. No, but that was actually during lockdown. He's happy. I'm not actually working just now. And I was like, guitar is happy. Well, not like happy. So I did it when I was going shopping as an excuse for going out. I dropped it off at his house, so I kind of know where he lives. Maybe that's why I fixed his thing from it. I think it was, and it was like, I got the video back. There's up here, yeah. He sent me a wee video on his phone. He's like, yeah, there we go. It's up here. What do you think? He was sitting there and he'd fucking, because he'd got it working, he'd plugged it into his computer and he was sitting there playing around with it. It was up here, yeah, it's great. It's up here. Do you mind if I just play with it the rest of the night? I was like, I'll come and get it tomorrow. Like, great. So there was a wee bit of interest in it. But I think there's always a wee bit of that when you're talking about someone he's just kind of quite new, but he's kind of passionate about it. So it's the same thing as, like, give me a guitar to fix. Here's an Epiphone Les Paul. All right, cool. Give me something. Here's a 1974 CSL Telly. Oh, it's like the job's basically the same, but something interesting, a little bit different. Went from Power Tools to who's Comic Con geeking out? I didn't. Strictronics is in Govan now, possibly. Yeah. I know Kevin from Stilkin. Team America. Fuck yeah. I mean, I watched it once. It was kind of all right, but American humor doesn't get me. I kind of get the crude thing, but I need something a bit more intelligent. I'm sorry, our Americans. I know that doesn't work in. Just not actual Americans, but the sort of mass market American stuff. When you get your jokes that are like Friends, and it's like, you know what I mean? As opposed to, I don't know, Blackadder or something like that. It's like where you get like sort of thinky stuff. Interstellar. I've never seen Eraserhead. I need to watch it. Diner. These are all films I've never heard. Mick Taylor was better than Ronnie. Well, Ronnie was cool. I like him. Right, I'm just going to scroll down. I'll get it. Hey, Tinny, Milwaukee. What the fuck are we talking about here? How did we get to that? 2 Pints Prick, Hail Mary, 1985. Don't know. Oh, look, it is Fran and Anna. What the fuck are we talking about? Yeah. Hey, Big Ped. I'm keeping well. It's good. Yes. We're currently talking about Escape from New York. No, it's like of the coolest people ever. Like, obviously fictional. Coolest people ever. Snake Plissken. He's cooler than Han Solo. He's the same character, basically, but he's cooler than Han Solo because he's allowed to swear. So, I mean, Snake Plissken's a total cult, and the music in it's fucking amazing as well. That pure terrible synth music by John Carpenter. Oh, Escape from New York. It's great. Oh, yeah, no, well done. Welcome. Yeah, no, Escape from New York. I'm going to watch that again several times and thoroughly enjoy it. Every time I watch it, I forgot about this. Life of Brian. Holy Grail for like over Life of Brian for me. But I mean, and again, I watched them so much. I don't know if I ever need to see them again because I just know every single fucking line from both of them. Every single line because I've just watched them so many times. And whereas that's where something like Flash Gordon comes in because yes, I know every single line, but the music. Crash Dive in Mungo City in brackets with no. Crash Dive in Mungo City is one of them, but then it's Ming's Wedding, and in brackets with Flash approaching. Fucking amazing. Watched it 100 times. Oh. I saw a film. I had to go and see Escape from LA 3 times. Wow. The old ABC. I saw Star Trek 6 in the old ABC, and there was something on top of the screen for the whole credits at the start. Like if you imagine just sitting like that, and then when the film started, you could see it go. So someone had, I don't know how it worked, had like maybe hung their jacket up in front of the projector or something like that, and you'd have to go around this mad maze, and then and the first 18 I ever saw was the Twin Peaks film, and I don't know how old I was, but I wasn't 18. Maybe like 14 or something. I got in to see that in there. I used to like it, and then it was my favourite venue for concerts when I got my jacket signed by about 20 bands, Saxon and Doro in Europe, and fucking Dragon Force and Wilco and all that. But I mean, and then it burnt down. Bastards. I like that place. The Rolling Stones look like Terrahawks. Terrahawks. I was thinking, yeah. See, the problem is, see, I need to listen to it again. It wasn't as good as I remember because it was annoying me. I immediately went into Airwolf there. I don't really remember it, but I loved the music at the start, and I remember the robots that were like sort of obviously R2-D2 type things, but they were like, were the goodies like spheres and the baddies were like cubes sort of thing. They like robots. Yeah. Get right angle jack plugs. You can get right angle jack plugs, yeah, but that doesn't really. Yeah, you can get around it. Terrahawks. Still got a VHS of that. I bet you didn't have that as a kid. I bet you, but that you bought that when you were older because it was funny. I need to watch Dark Star again. I remember trying to watch it years ago. I think it was very 70s and a bit cheap. I thought, and I need to watch it again, but I didn't understand it. It didn't get me. I've not seen The Usual Suspects since it was a current film. I remember I've seen parodies of it because there's a bit where it's Kevin Spacey in it when he's sitting there and he's like talking about this whole story, and there's like a notice board that's got things on it. That's the big breakdown at the end. I sort of remember that. Yeah, Nick Pliskin. Escape has a good sound. Yeah, totally. Oh. Old Jack Burton. Don't know. Also floats a duck. Yes, yeah, totally. She turned me into a newt. I got better. Yeah. One of the great mysteries of all time. What happened to Lee Van Cleef's middle fingertip on his right hand? I've no idea. Yeah, cheers, Pontiac. Spike the likes. Jack Burton is my dad. Throw him to the floor again. It's like, what's so funny about my friend Biggus? Dickus. He has a wife, you know. Yeah. But Terrahawks has bought new. Wow. But I've never seen. I don't know if I've ever seen it. As a music by the O2 ABC was fantastic. It was my favorite. Yes, I know. I know. Shit. I saw him. I played Kip Winger's bass in there. Me and my pal went to see Winger. It's like, fuck it. I'm really good. Winger. Who would I think? They were really good at Red Beach. Red Beck on guitar. Fucking, you're going to see like a proper legend on guitar, and Kip Winger, who is funny as fuck. Kip Winger's someone, if you're ever stuck on an hour-long train journey and you're next to Kip Winger, you're having a fucking laugh. He's great, man. Really liked him. Need to upgrade to a stereo VH. Nikam stereo, Mr. Whitesnake, go the full whack. I've actually got a VHS sitting there. I've got like a VHS to DVD combo thing, which I use to put my telly on, the monitor on. Like, rather than putting a shelf up, it was easier just to put old bits of hi-fi that I had, which are probably still worth fucking money. We discovered the Warriors. I remember the Warriors from when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in 20 or 30 years. Warriors come out to play. I remember that, and they've been really violent, and all these mad gangs, and the ones like the dressed in baseball outfits with makeup on gang, and the dungarees and roller skates gang, and all that. Yeah, it was mental. I'm sure it's funny. I want to see a double bill in the classic 2 Pink Floyd at Pompeii and A Star Is Born. I've never seen A Star Is Born. I know Lady Gaga did a version of that, but I mean, Pink Floyd at Pompeii. But I mean, Pink Floyd at Pompeii, I was always really pissed off with by the time the first time I didn't like Pink Floyd. Why the fuck does anyone like this? I did like Relics, the sort of more poppy stuff. I like that. I couldn't fucking when I was like 15, 16. Oh, let's listen to Shine On You Crazy Diamond, and it's like, it's like 6 minutes before it goes. It's like, can we listen to something else? We've been at this for like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's fucking nothing happened. But then somebody recorded off the telly Pompeii, and it was like, oh, this makes sense. Fuck that Dark Side of the Moon and all that. This Pompeii works. I get it. And then from then on, I was a Pink Floyd fan, but I didn't like it. I still don't really like Pink Floyd as such, but Pompeii's fucking amazing. Warriors come out to play. I met Everclear after I was at the big staircase. Cried as I'd waited a good 20 years for that. Yes, I could be a girly quite occasionally, yeah. Everclear, I've no idea who they are, but they sound like a pure poofy girl band with a name like Everclear. Let's imagine Black Sabbath had been called Everclear. We wouldn't know them. I mean, my PA company was called Biggest Wattis. Fucking brilliant. Yeah, baseball face. I'm a vest and no shirt kind of guy. Yes, I need to talk to you'll see it when I put the video on earlier on. We obviously dressed up for the gig a little bit. I wore my flares, I wore my Black Sabbath Converse, and I wore a purple tie-dye t-shirt to match my bass. Somebody asked me what basses I played. I played the tartan bass for the standard tuning and the West Tone Thunder, which I actually left at my pal's house last night. I couldn't board carrying it. So I need to go get that tomorrow, along with the fucking 2 big boxes of Skeletrics I left about 3 weeks ago. I used the Thunder for the down tune stuff. But we're sitting there, I pair Kings. I need to get ready. He's wearing a fucking vest. And I'm sorry, the guy is lovely. He's amazing. In fact, such a nice guy. Fantastic. Amazing guitarist, but genuinely fantastic. A vest, man. I will never, ever wear a vest. It's not a big pure like this. Basically a sort of a woman's thing. Like, no, you'll not see me in a vest. Different if it's fucking the middle of winter, you're, like in below t-shirts and shit as a layer for heat. Yeah, totally. But as a outfit, a vest. Oh, I don't know why. One of those things I'm just pure repulsed by. So I need to talk to him about the vest thing. Although the drummer, to be fair, was wearing a vest as well. So half of the fucking band were wearing vests. It's like, I don't want to be a band people wearing vests. Although the drummer at least had the Vertigo record label on it that said Paranoid on it. That's kind of acceptable, but vests, man, no. Stars Born, Brian Streisand, I knew that. But is it not meant to be quite a nasty film? It's not a happy one. It's like a kind of heavy. I don't know if I don't know if I really like, if I like films that aren't happy. It's a wee bit the same as music. I think maybe that's why I never really got the blues. Really, it's like, oh, it's the sort of like, I'm sad, so I want to listen to music that is really sad. I'm sad. Oh, I've listened to Baby Milk. Woo, here we go. Yeah, that's what I don't want to be sad. And it's a wee bit the same with films that are a bit heavy. It's like I don't want to be depressed and anxious and kind of feeling really down. I want forget it. Ming deals with me. Face him like this. That I want that. Yeah. Everclear's a nasty drink in the States. It possibly could be. It sounds like it definitely very much sounds like something like Windowline. I can see it being. I'd Everclear Virginia, an old milk jug, local made. Is Scott still on? If Scott's still on, give us a shout. I know you're meant to be sanding guitars, but I want to talk to you about something. That sounds really fucking like I've got a bone to pick with you. Know about something that you've told me about before a drummer was talking about. Even in Twitter, you can still drop. I've kind of missed it. My battery's running out, I think. Yes, I saw you give me a text message. I forgot to reply. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've still not done your guitar. I will fucking do it this week. I don't have any more guitars on the list just now. If anyone's got a guitar fix, now's the time to do it. Timberkey used to make law, is it really? A sleeveless jumper, V-neck over a t-shirt, echoing the Bunnyman style, classic. He's finished eating a carry out. Okay. Oh shit, I've forgotten this called. Alan, the drummer in the Sabbath band, was talking about getting what do you call it? The hair lacquer and milk combo. When he was like 12 in Govan, the Jakies used to come in and buy hair lacquer and milk. And you've told me about that before. Yeah, I just thought it was quite funny. So I was like, I've heard of this. And I was like, are you drinking that? And he was like, oh, no, I was about fucking 10 or something. He used to play football. Whatever it was, he'd go to the wee shop around the corner for cans of Coke. Madness, though. But hair lacquer, that's you know, as you properly got a problem, you're drinking something that isn't even meant to be a drink and mixing it with milk so it doesn't physically burn. It doesn't physically kill you immediately. I don't know if I fancied that at all. Go Nia and Andy. Go on, Andy. What songs? What films have we missed? There's been some classics. I've ones I'd forgotten about. Was it Escape from New York? Was in there like that? Yeah. And I'm putting in Conan the Barbarian. The music, I think, brings in, but Conan the Barbarian is fucking brilliant. I've watched that thousands of times. I even had the DVD and bought another DVD because it had DTS surround sound on it. The music's so good. Dark Star, that's already been mentioned. Kayona Cassie, I don't know what that is. The producers, okay. Rollerball. Actually, if Jen's still on, that was the first R-rated film she ever saw on Aaron in the cinema was Rollerball. I put it right. I've not seen Rollerball in years. It's got da 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 da. The music done on synths, done it because I've got the records. That's a pretty brutal film, Rollerball. So is the producer's original one the Gene Wilder one, or is that a remake? It's hilarious. Springtime for Hitler. Yeah, I've not seen that in fucking ages either. Actually, Stir Crazy as well is a surprise. Is one of those ones that you can just. I kind of miss TV. I don't watch TV anymore. I gave up on it. I don't want to pay for a TV license for a start, but I don't watch TV anymore. So I don't have this thing of the film. Oh, there's just a film on. It's like one of those ones. Winter for Poland and France. Yeah. I think something like that is probably a film that when I saw that, there's too many references for it in it for me to properly understand. So I'd probably watch it again, and I bet you there's twice as many jokes in it than the last time I saw it. I need to watch it again. Why do I keep getting messages of horrible feelings? Is one of my pals stuck down a well or something like that? Right, say I'm getting hundreds of videos from after the end. Somebody else's pals was taking videos of the gig, which might be interesting. I might be able to do a mashup from different camera angles. Where are we going? I'm sorry, talk amongst yourself for a second. Aye. See, best, amazing trousers. But that might be quite good. Oh, these fucking reviews and zoomed in on the singer. That doesn't work. And Brian. There's me in the background. Yeah. So I will have to try and make up some sort of video because I've got the whole thing on the GoPro, but it's a little bit muffled and it's all taken from like in front of the guitarist, so you can't actually see there's any crowds. But if I have that, who knows anything about editing programs? How can I get one? Like, say if I've got the soundtrack from the original one, right, and then I can put in any of these wee snippets for a minute in there in different bits, so I can have like multi-camera. I need to work out how to do that. I'll have to do it. Hi. The Jerk is a funny film. I've not seen that in ages, but I mean, there's some bits of that. The bit where it's like he's hitchhiking. He's out in the front of the street like that, hitchhiking, and there's like they're sitting there. The first thing in the morning, he's out there like that, ready to hitchhike, and then they're sitting down. The family's sitting down for dinner at night. You know, it's like dark and all that. And it's like, I wonder how the son's doing on his quest. It's like, I don't know. Hey, how are you getting on? He's like, that's great. And he's just basically been standing on the street for 8 hours. I quite like that film. I not seen it in years though. A little piece of Poland, a little piece of France. Yeah, okay, I'll watch. I'm going to have to write a list. I will watch The Producers again. I forgot about that. It's weird how time changes your opinion. I used to think The Magic Christian. I don't know that one. Rolled Up Sleeves. I've never even heard of it. Oh, Peter Sellers and Ringo Starr. Wow. Still here, Jen. Sorry, we're just talking absolute piss. I don't think I was being saying anything nasty, but I never said nasty, but anyway. Yeah. Just trying to figure out a comment. Yeah. Drop in your favourite films. We're already talking about classic films. None of this shite everyone else likes. Oh, don't know how that's traumatized me about 7. It's a child enemy. The film was part of our education. Greyfriars Bobby. Oh, I sort of remember that. Sort of. I don't know. These are not films I've watched again. What's the best oldest film? What's the first? I have no idea. What's the best film that's like really old but still pure awesome no matter what? To be honest, Jennifer, it's just because you mentioned it last week. I was like, Rollerball. Brain going, I've got the record for Rollerball, and I thought it was good, so I watched the video, or I watched it on TV. Yeah. See No Evil. Yeah, well, I See No Evil, Hear No Evil is kind of in the Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor one, and for me, the Stir Crazy is by far better than that. It's still quite good, though. I just remember See No Evil, Hear No Evil, because there's boobs in it. And it's like, I remember watching it in school. On the last day of school, people would bring in videos, and when I was like that, we were sitting there like that in the class watching boobs and boobs. Yeah. Anything by Albert Hitchcock. I need to watch some of that as well. I've not seen Father of the Bride. Passport to Pimlico, Dunkirk, Whiskey Galore. Oh, Whiskey Galore's quite funny. I think I've seen that. Yeah, Scott, you were talking to us before having a movie night. Would anyone be up for having a movie night and set it up, and do we just watch it? Or can we just basically just watch it on the screen? Like, you don't know what I'm looking at just now, but so you've got like that much of the screen, then you've got a strip down the side with a chat. Can we just do that and have a movie night or something? That'd be quite funny. And just watch fucking super classy films, just pure belters. You know what I mean? We always thought we can watch movies as a group. Just Doctor Strangelove is pretty funny. The first time I saw that didn't really make sense to me, but I kind of understand it now. Yeah, we're really fucking. There's a lot of these films I don't know anything. The original Jen with Liz Taylor, don't know. They always tell you the truth. Strangelove. Yeah, but the Third Man. See, I don't even know what these things are. But it's like the difference between like basically any of you telling me a film's good is this confidence, whereas what is one of the well-known and everyone thinks it's good, like from an internet site, is like, well, maybe sort of. Do you know what I mean? It's like somebody who knows your and Kit Kats lowers the tone. Yes, well done. Yeah. On Dallas, I used to. As I remember, because it does have a good soundtrack, yeah. So does Million 1,000,000 Years BC. Senga does Sight Hill. I think you'll find that Senga does Sight Hill sort of somewhere between Debbie Does Dallas and Still Game, something like that. So it could be interesting. Yeah, I'm sure it's dirtier. I think that you need to know you personally before you can recommend a movie. Yeah, but I mean, everyone knows I'm an idiot, so it's fine. You know, everyone knows I'm not going to be impressed with good dialogue or it's going to be fun. It doesn't have to be funny, but it has to be fun. The Third Man, I don't know who that is. I don't remember. I don't really remember. I don't remember particularly liking that. I remember liking the Sinbad ones. A couple of them. Is it Harry Houth when he was fighting the stop motion skeletons? That's pretty fucking impressive. Actually, Scott's got still got my DVD. I need to get it back so you don't lose it into your pile of DVDs. Star Crash, which if you've never seen Star Crash, is fucking great. It's like a rip-off of Jason and the Argonauts. The Land That Time Forgot. See, these were the films that I remember watching tons of times and not really making sense. Is The Land of Time Forgot the one with the... No, is that the one where they've got like they're near the South Pole or something and they're in a Nazi submarine? That one, aye. That one. But what's the one where the Time Machine, which is fucking amazing up to the point where like a lot of these films, it's like the first half of it's fucking brilliant and then it's like they went, oh, we've done the film, just fucking finish it off. With the Warlocks, the Morlocks and all that. It's like, oh no, it's not as good. But the starts, like, this is a fucking amazing film. When it shows you the fashion and the shot, fucking brilliant. The Wicker Man, the original one, I found that fucking terrifying the first time I saw The Wicker Man. Absolutely terrifying. Oh. I'm talking about the original Time Machine. I know there was one with a Guy Pearce, not Guy. Who's the guy? The guy from who was in Prometheus and Neighbours. Yes. And Jason and the Argonauts. Yes. Bits of them. What's the one where it's got Patrick Troughton, you know, the old Doctor Who, and he's blind and they've got, is it harpies? And they go on an island. That might be Jason and the Argonauts. You live in Wicker Man land. All right, where are you, Space Monkey? That would be Pete Diesel land. Oh, the Wicker. I never went to it. You're trying to like honestly Wicker Man, is it? I always thought it was like it looks like a. I thought it was like an Inca thing. I'm sure there's like, I don't know, a computer game or something where you've got like basically that logo and you've got to. Is it Zelda? You've got to fire an arrow into the middle. Jen, you just know me too well. You've got it wrong. It's not Adventures in Krull. It's just Krull. Krull. Yeah. Tell you, that's it. That's my favourite film of all time is Krull. It's fucking amazing. The music in it is the best music in any film ever by James Horner. Yeah, no, Krull. Krull is fucking amazing. Well done. Yeah, I'll go for it. Krull. Best film ever. Krull. Fuck it. There, you're right. The Guitar is a great movie for me. I don't know that one either. But I'm gonna have to try and play. I never could. I could. Probably been years since I saw. I can't believe how many notes I got right as a. Yeah, no, fucking Krull. The most overrated film is Shawshank. I do like Shawshank Redemption. It's quite funny. There's a bit in it. I remember seeing it years ago and thinking it was quite good, and then watching it again. And there's a bit where there's a guy who's kind of like he's a young guy, but he's got like a sort of 50s Elvis haircut. And it's like Morgan Freeman doing the voiceover, and this guy turned up and he was blasé and all full of himself and just being a dick all the time. And you can see him going, blah, 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 just being a pure fanny the whole time. And it's up here. and everybody loved him. And it was like, I ended up getting killed. But that guy, whoever that bit, it was like the humour in it and stuff, and it's got Clancy, what's his face in it? Velvet Goldmine, I didn't know that much. Deliverance. To be honest, like, see, the thing that really strikes me mostly about Deliverance is Burt Reynolds. But Burt Reynolds, aye, is wearing a pure amazing like wetsuit vest thing. No, it's not quite like one of those. I know I was slagging off vests earlier on, but the wetsuit vest thing, if that's one of the things I remember about that. And also one of the guys who says Squeal Like a Pig looks a bit like John Fogerty. Yeah. Saving Ryan Privates. I think it's called Shaving Ryan's Privates. I think that is a film. But there must be so much fun. Burt was a very good actor, minus Smokey. Seen that in the theatre as well. Wow. I remember Smokey, I don't know. What was it? Convoy. See, one of the best records and most surprising records I ever bought. It was one of those ones, it was a charity shop. I think it was £5 for £1 or £10 for £1. And it was 16 truck driving greats. And it was Convoy on it. No, it was fucking great. But it was like, fucking, what was it? Some of the titles, I was just looking at it. And I used to bring this out when we were sitting with my pals. We were pissed like up. I'm going to put this on, look at the songs. It was like, give me 40 acres to turn this rig around, and truck driving. There's a Smokey on my tail and all. Just fucking brilliant truck driving songs. Fantastic. Oh. I don't know. I've never heard of Cage Musher, whatever it is. I assume, Andy, you're being sensible and not telling me about some sort of porno like Animal Farm, which I've no idea. I mean, is that like folk having sex? I don't even know. Sorry. Jack Horner. I don't know who Jack Horner is either. Anyway, but Lose again. I saw that. That was one of those films that was on when I was a kid. I do remember there being an orangutan and Clint Eastwood in it, but I've no idea what the film was. Who was that guy in Smokey and the Bandit? See, I've not seen Smokey and the Bandit for fucking years anyway. I bet you there's an awful lot of more adult humour that I didn't get when I was a kid, so it didn't really make sense. I was obviously, I'd like the, the car chases and shit like that, because car chases are awesome. But I've been talking about car chases. What about the Blues Brothers, which I didn't see? Okay, maybe got to being about 20 until I saw it, and then that bit where they're away scene. I think it's near the start. They're talking to the penguin, and every time they swear, she pure batters them with a stick. And it's like, but as soon as they hit, they go fucking batter. And it's the two of them are just get that, and the car chase, which is car chase in the Blues Brothers and the speedboat chase in Live and Let Die. You need to watch it. The second one, right? I will, Tinny. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I these are films I've not seen for ages, but it's like, when it comes down to, like, you get something like The Shawshank Redemption, which is like your highest IMDb rated film and stuff. I don't really need the film to be deep or meaningful. It's just got to be entertaining and fun, really. Do you know what I mean? Akira, because films are astounding. Seven Samurai remade as Miyazaki. Oh, right, okay. Is that like the Hidden Fortress? I watched that relatively recently, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was fucking hilarious. That was because I'd heard it was based in Star Wars. As the Carry On films are classics, but then you don't get it. They are, yes. The one Carry On film that sticks out is Carry On Screaming, though. That one, I would watch. I'll watch that again, but a lot of the other ones, because I don't know, one year for Christmas, my mum got the VHS video box set, which was about that length. And some of them are just... But so some of the good ones are like the early black and white ones, and some of them are just crap. Obviously, maybe the later on ones. Actually, I remember, I think I might have seen Carry On Columbus in the cinema. And there's a bit at the start where he's got like and it's like, I was still laughing halfway through the film when it was like, there's a bit at the start where he's got a map, it's like a scroll rolled up, and he's got one paperweight, and it's Jim Dale, and he's like, he's trying to roll it up and use the paperweight, and it keeps rolling up, and it's fucking brilliant. It's just the simplest of jokes, and it's fucking hilarious. And when they meet the Americans and all that, and there's like they're giving them cigars, and it's like the Americans, they're like, up here, yes, we give you magical items like mirrors and trinkets like that. You give us gold, and the Americans are like, this guy think we're idiots. The fuck's he talking about? You know, I need to watch that again. I quite like that. Frying tonight. I was going to say that it could be one of the best ones. The Hustler. I don't think I've seen that either. Wow, we've really got into films tonight, but fuck it, why not? Yeah, everyone like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I've not. I remember watching that. Maybe 18 or something. I've not seen it since then. Columbus was still yeah, no. Columbus is better than. There's a few that are just a few terrible Carry On films. There's one where they're on a cruise ship. It might be called Carry On Cruise Ship or something. It's fucking awful. It's just terrible. I was just looking at all my DVDs, thoughts on Withnail and I. Yeah. Withnail and I is fucking hilarious. It's also good. That basically the whole bit with the Camberwell carrot and the big massive black guy with the afro who's in their bath. No, yeah. Yeah, okay, that's a classic one. Marx Brothers writes it. What is the Santa Claus? I don't know. Animal House. I'm not sure I got that. Just K-Pax. I've not seen that either. Human Centipede. Don't know. Carry On Cruising was the first Carry On in colour. Really? But it's pure terrible and they're all pure old, isn't it? I don't know. I can't remember. Carry On at Your Convenience. Is not good. K-Pax. I know that's what's his face? That guy we were talking about at the you do not get off with being a perv or something like that. I can't remember what the guy's name is now from that Usual Suspects, whatever his name was. It was him. The film I remember seeing raving about the funniest films of all time, and it was Porky's. And me and my pal Robert watched this, and it was like, it didn't make any sense at all. It's like, why? What? Checking, it did say this is like the funniest film ever. You're like, has you ever seen what? It didn't make any sense to me at all. Carrying Up the Khyber. I've not. We can't talk about the K-Pax film. Well, you can talk about it in the chat. I've not seen it. I don't remember. Carrying Up the Khyber. That's only because it's got Bernard Bresslaw. Who did you know? And Bernard Breslaw's also my favourite film. He's the Cyclops in Krull, along with Ergo the Magnificent. Small of stature, wide of vision, blah 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 blah. Fucking brilliant. Carrying Out Your Convenience bombed as we're basically laughing at their main audience. It's hard to make striking workers funny. Okay, yes, I can sort of see that. Yeah. I don't think it's Carrying On At Your Convenience I'm thinking of. I know that's the one. Where they're talking about. They're not working a toilet factory or something. Not that one. That's not the one I'm thinking of. What's the one? Black and white, and it's got the wee weedy guy. He works in a like a public toilet underground. I'm sure it's black and white. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. It's Ginger. Zulu. Okay. Yeah. Need to watch Zulu again, I suppose. I went to cinema to see Krull. You'd think they'd do a remake of it. It was a pure bomb. But I mean, the thing is, Krull's fucking amazing. I took that to China because I was going to try and impress my ex-girlfriend Civ. We're going to watch my favourite films ever. I took over Krull, Star Crush, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show because I'd never seen it. Star Crash didn't go down very well. I thought it was fucking amazing though, and I watched that again. But Krull was like, she kept just looking up. This is really good. It's like, yeah, it's my favourite film. No, but the bit where it's like, is that up here? Yeah, was it? There's a. I can't. I'm not good at quoting it because I'm too busy thinking about the music when he's climbing up the hill, when he's climbing up the mountain to get the glaive. Glaive is once a very powerful weapon. It can't be so again. That one, the one where it's like, fame's an empty purse. It's like, eat it, go hungry, seek it, go mad. Something else. Fucking great film. Oh, Beastmaster. The Carry On film with Phil Silvers is yes. It's the Carry On in the Foreign Legion. It's Follow That Camel. I think we must have had that. I must have videoed that when we had our first video recorder. That one was fucking funny. Yes, I like that one. I can't imagine Krull in the cinema. That must have been amazing because the music's so good. The thing about James Horner, he did so many films Is one of his other ones is The Wrath of Khan. He did that. Obviously, no one's mentioned that, but it's fucking awesome. You don't need to like Star Trek to appreciate the Wrath of Khan, but the music is the same in any film. That it's always the same music, sort of. But Krull's the one. I think it must be an early one where he did all his best bits. Although Wrath of Khan does have this when they're going into the nebula. Fucking great. Yeah. Carry On Loving, you're thinking. Charles Horty was in The Private Detective for Dan the Lavatory Man. Okay, it's Carry On Screaming and it's not black and white. This is going back to basically I used to have a black and white telly in my bedroom, so I might have watched it on a black and white telly. Yeah, it's Dan the Lavatory Man. Just dug out my history of Carry On films. The Last King of Scotland. That's what's his face, Billy Boyd, isn't it? Actually, I've met Billy Boyd after a Crowded House concert my pal made me go to, the SECC. And we came out, we were obviously steaming drunk because we'd tanned a bottle of Bucky before we came in. And he was standing outside, obviously waiting for someone. I was like, Pierre. I was like, Pierre, just put a hand on his shoulder. I was like, cheers for doing that thing with the ring and all that, saved us all. And he was like, Pierre, I ain't bother, man. Yeah. The Dark Crystal. No, I don't know it. I know I can picture what it looks like. And I remember trying to watch it as a kid, but I don't remember it at all. It's one of those ones that didn't do anything to me. Oh, but they reissued it recently, or within the last 10 years, not a remake of it. Well, no one has mentioned Spinal Tap. The thing about Spinal Tap is buy the DVD because it's like there's a whole other film, like all of it. The amazing thing about Spinal Tap, I didn't realize this until relatively recently, that what they did was they went on tour with Saxon and stuff like that. So a lot of things are from Saxon and they're hearing stories from them. But that whole time they were inventing this band. So when all the interviews and all the things that happened in Spinal Tap, none of that was scripted. The interview was, but they didn't know what it was. So they didn't know what questions they were going to be asked. So they are improvising answers in the characters of this band that they've been talking about for the last few months on tour with other bands. So it's all kind of made up. And even things like there's such a thin line between clever and stupid, that's fucking ad-libbed. So, I mean, and if when you watch you get the DVD, you get that, you get the film, right? And then you get the film with a commentary with them in character. And then you get outtakes, which is basically another film filmed at the same time. They just filmed 3 hours worth of Spinal Tap and only put half of it out. It's fucking great. It's well worth looking at. Best music movie, Quadrophenia? No, Flash Gordon or Tommy are both better than Quadrophenia. But there you go. Your comments were deleted. Yeah, that's because you keep fucking putting up pornos, Mr. White. It's like pure me and my tarp. You know what I mean? It's like, no. Last guy was Kenny Turlish. D minors on fire like my crib. Midnight Cowboy, I don't remember. Is that Everyone's Talking About Me? I remember kind of that bit. I don't really remember getting it. It goes up to 11, yeah. My amp does actually go to 11, my soft tech. In fact, so does the amp in Berkeley. They go to 11, non-ironically, but they do. Oh, don't call me rats, I don't know. What's the video of Saxon playing Faith Healer by... Wow, is that quite recent? They did an album, when I say quite recent, in the last 10 years, no, they did an account. Lenny and the Squigtones, possibly, yeah. What are you saying, Alex? Mad Malcolm movies? The comic strip presents bad news. Yes, that was good, but I did always like Bottom. Yeah. No, Bottom has got his moment. There's an episode of Bottom, which is the one where it's the gas man. Okay, we're not on the TV, but that episode, not all of Bottom, Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson is fantastic, but the gas man episode is, make sure you go for a piss before you watch it. It's that funny. Also, there's, if you look on YouTube, there's live things, like I think maybe 3 or 4 like live 1998, live 2000, you know what I mean? And they're fucking brilliant. The worst band video of Kiss meets Phantom of the Opera. I've heard of it. All the Christopher Guest movies are brilliant. I don't know what else. I don't know if anyone's in. No, Someone was talking to try to get me to watch Mr. Jolly Sit Next Door a few months ago or within the last year. I need to watch it. The Gas Man, when it's like when they're talking about, it's like, Pierre, would you like a cup of tea? I was like, Pierre, yes, and that whole thing, fucking amazing. Why did Nigel Tufnell Jeff Beck have a cup? Well, the thing is, I bought, and there was a missing. It was only a missing record. It was only there for about a year. Opposite Guitar, and I'd seen Spinal Tap the film. I didn't know there was an album like from 1992 or something called Break Like the Wind, and it was on cassette and it was 25 pence, and I bought two of them just because I thought the cover was funny, and it's got the song Break Like the Wind, which I can maybe even, if I get them. We are the children. We are the children who learn to fly. We are the thumbs on a stranger's hand. We send our voices to the crying for, and will our voices be heard, or will they break like the wind? And it's got the most amazing guitar solo ever in it, and Jeff Beck does the most ridiculous bit. It gets sillier, and it's got a key change everywhere, and it's got Slash and Steve Lukather, but the Jeff Beck bit, where it's just like, he's up here, right, and so he's in it, so he knows they're aware of it. Mighty Wind, don't know it. Wally Custer's what? Escorts, Bescorts, come if you're saucy. No idea. Can you see me now? For I'm a bogus gas man. What's Mr. I need to watch Mr. Jolly. It wasn't on YouTube. I looked for it. It's Peter Cook, isn't it? If I remember. I think so. What is it? Was it? I think that's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's like pure. There's times like now I wish I'd listened to my mother when I was younger. I was like, why? What did she say? I don't know. I wasn't listening. Yeah. Best in show. Right. That's my for an input. He's adding the Italian job in Casablanca. The Italian job does have that bit with the minis at the end, but nah. I did watch Casablanca, just because it was meant to be pure amazing. But I mean, we're not talking about Flash Gordon and Krull here. You know what I mean? And Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Barbarian might be my favorite film. I think Krull's probably better though. And Get Carter. I know it's a Michael Caine film. I know it exists, but I don't remember. I don't know. A lot of these films I didn't watch. It depends whether they were on TV and maybe being a kid of the 80s. What about The Running Man? There we go. No, fucking, we've not even mentioned the Verhoeven trilogy. I don't know Angels with Dirty Faces either. The Verhoeven trilogy, come on to fuck. The Running Man's not even in the Verhoeven trilogy, but it's close. I tried to convince you of this a couple of years ago, but Hell Bent is the best TV show ever about a band. Maybe you didn't tell me, I don't remember. I don't remember it. I don't know Angels with Dirty Faces either. See, I kind of recognise these names, but not seen it. But the Verhoeven trilogy, man, come on. Fucking, I can't remember that. RoboCop! Ah! How many times are you going to watch RoboCop again? Fucking right. Total Recall, Starship Troopers. The Ruttles is funny. I've got the record. One of my pals, the keyboard player in my the band The Blind Dog, was in Small Faces. Never seen it. My wife knows the satellite code off heart for The Running Man. Good. See, The Running Man, right? This is I see if you can explain my dad to me, right? Massive Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, right? Didn't like The Running Man. What? Favorite film, Commando. Doesn't like The Running Man. How's that possible? It's fair enough. I don't get that kind of film. But your favorite film's Commando, for fuck's sake. And you don't like The Running Man. I don't understand how that works. Anvil is pretty good. Actually, my wee brother worked in the, what was it called? Was it called Cineworld in Glasgow? The most consecutively stacked cinema screens on top of each other in Europe or something. And he was working there, and Anvil was getting played, and Anvil actually played in the bar upstairs after the film was showed. And I didn't even hear about Anvil till it came out in DVD. I was like, up here watching it. Maybe I was like, oh, Anvil, I've seen them play. It's like, what? They played in the actual cinema. That's good. Comfort and joy, that sneaky feeling. Angels and Nedge, too many to mention. Yeah, but too many to mention without mentioning the best one. Well, I've not seen those ones you're talking about, but are they as good as Restless Natives? I mean, Restless Natives is that bit. I mean, every time I watch it, it gets funnier. I swear it is. It just gets funnier and funnier. And that bit where you just see the Adidas Samba, and he kick starts that wee fucking 125k 125cc motorbike at the end with the big country music. If you're, I don't know, if you're basically, if you don't have to stand up and cheer when that happens, you're either not Scottish or you're just not a person. It's like it's so good. SUX 6000, 12 mpg. Yeah, I know you, Mr. White. You're cool. I know you appreciate that stuff. Robocop was one of the first 18s I think I ever saw. I remember getting out the video store with my wee brother Andrew, and I must have been 10, something like that. And we were in the video vaults up in Lindsay. Was like, "Is up here? This is an 18." Is up here? I don't know. My big brother told me to come and get to pick it up for him. I don't even know what it is. And she was like, "Up here, okay." And my wee brother Andrew just kept quiet like that because I just pure winged it and lied. But we got Robocop. Fucking amazing. You were an extra in Highlander. There you go. Highlander's one of those films I don't really. I've still got half that last fag. I've obviously just been talking too much shit. Highlander's one of those films I've never really got. I like the music, but I mean, I remember it. I don't know, was it 86 or something? I remember kind of maybe about 1990. That was one of the films that everyone wanted to see, kind of along with Robocop. But I never really got Highlander. It didn't really do anything for me, whereas Robocop did. I don't know what it was. Actually, I see when my Restless Native story is. My pal Mo used to work as a windy cleaner, and one of the guys he worked with was Vince from Restless Natives. And I'd heard about this film and I saw it in the video shop down in Kirky in a used thing for $1.99 second hand, and it's like, so I bought it, that DVD, like, all right, and it was signed by fucking the guy from the film. Like, no way, in Biro, assuming it's real. And then that weekend, honestly, we were down in Bar Bliss, and we walked into Bar Bliss with Mo, and Vince is like, up here, "Oh, how's it going?" Up here, great. And it's fucking him, and I just watched the film and was pure converted by it that week. Pure shat, it was great. Hey, Sean B, sorry, we're talking about films. I don't know, I just get drunk. My husband now's texting me movies. Wish I hadn't told him that the chat was this evening. Yeah, but it's just film chat. It's classic. Hello, do you have a Yamaha SG2000? Sean, best year new. I did have a Yamaha SG2000, but it was really heavy and it wasn't original enough. It had been stripped and I sold it. It was good, but it was a very heavy one. My pal Scott's got like a white one, which is light and it's fucking amazing. The problem is I'm into, you can see one there's a Washburn Wing series, and it's a prettier shape. I've got no issue with the construction or the sound or the playability with a Yamaha SG, but it's a bit ugly. I'm sorry. I find them, even all of them, just it's the horns are too short. Like on the Washburn, the actual horns. This isn't one of the expensive Washburns. It's been painted though, but it is now fucking the most expensive one. But it's just that's a very pretty shape. Like the horns are nice and spiky and stuff. Whereas on the, look at that. Here, JPEGs, I'm selling it. It's even signed by the artist. Look at that. Ridiculous. But yeah, so I did have one, but I sold it. It was a very nice guitar, but it weighed a ton. To Sir with Love. I don't even know any of these films. I was at college, my lad was in Pink Floyd The Wall, another Brick the Wall part. Went to, all right, wow. Did you get to sing it as well? Hey Ian, how's it going? Is that locked up? All right, sorry. Worst movie ever? Oh God, no! The worst movie ever has to be a movie that's meant to be good. That's the worst movie ever. There's no point. Obviously, there's hundreds of really crap movies that are just terrible, but ones that Porky's. That there you go. It's the one that everyone said was fucking hilarious. And I remember, I think we might even have borrowed, rented the video because it was the funniest film ever. It was fucking shit, but everyone says it was good. Cool Hand Luke, True Grit, Forbidden Planet, Marathon Man. We've moved back to guitars. We're talking about classy films. The Verhoeven trilogy. Got to sell your Yamaha SG600. I'm not even sure which one that is. 12 Angry Men, Forbidden Planet. I've seen Forbidden Planet. Is that not is that Leslie Nielsen? Leslie Nielsen? From Airplane. We're getting Ghost Rider 1 and 2. I like Ghost Rider. I quite like them because it's that line, like I was talking earlier on about. That's all started. I was talking about the Meg 2, right? Is it a good film? No, obviously not. Was it thoroughly enjoyable? Yes. So does that make it a good film because it's thoroughly enjoyable? I mean, obviously it doesn't have any, comments on life and any deep meaning. No. That's not why films are meant to be entertainment. The difference between craft. Fujigen built. When Fender Japan started, it was Fujigen built the guitars for the Squire Bullets and Squire JVs, and then Made in Japan was for Fenders made in Japan by Fujigen, and then they fell out with Fujigen, or they started making them somewhere else, but somehow Fujigen managed to hold the Made in Japan thing. So Fender did get guitars made by Tokai and Dyna, and I think they even opened up their own factory in Japan. But because Fujigen somehow had the rights to Made in Japan, so if it's a Fender made in Japan, it's made by Fujigen. Obviously, you got other guitars that are made in Japan, but not a Fender. If it's a Fender made in Japan, it's made by Fujigen. If it's crafted in Japan, it's made by Tokai, Fender's own factory, Dyna, and someone else. I don't know 1200 Men. Do you know the band Kino? No, I don't. No, Pontiac, it's not. No, Crafted doesn't. It's that thing about somehow Fujigen factory has the rights to Fender made in Japan. So Crafted is still made in Japan. Yeah. All that jazz in the back of night. Every Fast and Furious film. Yeah. The worst movie ever in life. Mm-hmm. And a demented budgie now. The Sting invasion of the body snatchers. The eagle has landed. Tell the fuck off. Yeah, fair enough. So we moved on. Ask him what his favourite guitar is. Picking up a Marshall 50 combo, taking it to a gig a couple of weeks later. Well, good thinking. Invasion of the Bobby Snatchers. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of that Scott did a swap with a guy. He swapped a Squire jazz bass for a Tokai Strat, and he was in a band playing bass, and the girl was obsessed with dicks, like the singer who wrote all the songs, and they were called. It wasn't Invasion of the Bobby Snatchers is probably better, but they were the Harlem Globetrotters, and all our songs were about dicks. Apparently, never seen them. Oh, all that I've never heard it. But to say Dark Side of the Moon in the planetarium again. Oh yeah, I've heard that. It's meant to be good. Oh, I saw Star Trek 1. Star Trek 1's a really difficult one, isn't it? I remember being really excited. I think it was on TV going, oh, it's a Star Trek film. That'll be good. Oh, God, it wasn't. Yeah. I don't, Sean, I like the idea, but I don't have a backwards N on my keyboard. But there's a jazz guy who plays a white one, and he's fucking amazing, but it's the same guitar he always used. Well, it's quite. We've seen Meatloaf at the Hammersmith Road in 1980. Jesus. I was 2. Thought you were the same age as me. My God. The Prestige. I've not seen The Prestige. I've saw it. Sadly, I never got to see naked nuns with big guns. If they were naked, how did you know they were not? Well, yeah. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's funny as fuck. See the bit where is it Droopy? The dog's in the lift. Right? No, that's a good film. Yeah. Day of the Triffids. Do you remember that? don't know. No, there's an awful lot of fucking there's a fucking awful lot of good films, isn't there? Really. But notice that none of these films we've been talking about are the Mockingbird Stopped Smelling. I've been terrified. I've had that fucking stinking guitar on my wall for a whole week. Yes, I know that's buzzing. Pick it back up again. It doesn't have a strap on it, bastards. No, but I've had this guitar on my wall all week because I'm terrified it sticks to something. Because when I did a video of this on Thursday, I think, my arm kept sticking to it because the paint's still wet. So rather than fucking it up like I did one of the other ones where two of Jen's guitars stuck to each other because the paint wasn't dry, it's just been hanging on my wall. And honestly, I've been chemically high since Wednesday. But yeah, so there's another JPEG. I don't think this is sold actually. If anyone's wanting a Mockingbird, and it's still in tune and everything. Amazing. Maximum Overdrive, yes. But it's like the AC/DC film soundtrack. I've got the record for it. I remember seeing that before. I knew who AC/DC were. I didn't even notice. But yeah, it's a cheesy super 80s film. It's like some films are just so 80s that it doesn't really matter. It's still a wee bit sticky. My favourite scenes is the lager scene in the 58 film Ice Cold and Alex. Never heard it. So, but you'll find a Yamaha SG200. It's not one of the desirable ones. You'll pick one up. You just need to keep looking. The BBC version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is better than the Hollywood big budget version. I don't know, was it Hollywood? But I mean, yeah, there was nothing. There's nothing in that. But what's even better is the radio series. It's on YouTube, but you have to try and find it. I've actually got they did like parts 5, 6, and 7, or 6, 7, and 8. Whatever it is on CD. I bought them when they came out after watching the BBC series, and they're fucking brilliant. Yeah, no, it's amazing. I'm obviously a super geek, but the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it's just clever. It's really clever. I was talking about it last night actually. Oh. I saw Meatloaf over here years ago, and Dio played it a couple of weeks later. Never saw Meatloaf. I saw Dio when he played with Heaven and Hell. Well, when I say I saw Dio, the stage for Heaven and Hell was really low. So I could see Tony Iommi's face, and I could see Geezer Butler's face, and I could see the top on his head, and I could see his hands when he was doing that. But it was a good gig. I like how the Aussies say Akadaka. Yeah, totally. Yeah, Wally Custard, sell Sean Baster 600. I'm not sure what the 600 is. I know the 200's kind of the basic one. The pickups are fucking amazing though. That was another guitar I got, and unmodified, like that Telecaster. I got it with chrome knobs and chrome pickup rings and new Warman pickups or something like that. Is that a happy? Yeah, okay. I did a swap with my pal John Carter. Is that happy? Is that happy? Yeah. I've got the horrible yellow pickups if you want them. Yeah. So I put the original one. They're fucking great. I know. The thing is, Jen, it's literally still sticking to me. These take weeks to go. I don't want a Mockingbird. This guitar, it's kind of one of those ones that shouldn't be what it is. It's not a normal Bronze Series Mockingbird. I know that's like see the Sloan Ranger. There's 2 girls on here. Jen, she called you a bitch. The Sloan Ranger there in my comments. Fight. Because she wanted this guitar. But I don't think it was particularly. It was in the back. It was all live. You know what I mean? I've never read the books, but the Seventh Seal. That kind of rings a bell as well. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but part of this story is I'm on the bucky, so I'm lying and trying to cause fights. You gotta understand this. That's what I get to. There's only 2 women on the stream, and I get to offend both of them in one sentence. Yeah, she didn't call you a bitch. Yeah, sorry. Seven Seal parody, Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted, The Bogus Journey. I saw that in the cinema like 2 or 3 times. It's currently off gassing. Yes, I'm kind of. It's that whole thing about when I'm drunk, I don't want to play other people's guitars in case I drop it. But this guitar is awful good. I'm going to put it down because I am now worried about dropping it because it's not mine. I'll put on my Black Sabbath bass instead, just to keep. I'll play one of the. I'll play. I just hit that off the roof, but that's fine because it's mine. That doesn't fucking work, does it? It's touching that one. Put that there. Does that touch that one? No. Or does that one touch that one? No. Yeah. There's always a way around these things. Oh. And what are the chances this one had been in tune? I have no idea. Yeah, no, the Yamaha SG200 was lovely. Oh. Couldn't get the Gibson LPJ. Is that the Les Paul Jr. or is that the LPJ, but it's not a junior? Because I sold an amp to a guy in Mary Hill. I had one of them. It's like, I was like, Les Paul. I was like, sounded fucking great. That was only 300 quid. And I was like, I wish I would have that. It was a lovely, as far as Les Paul's go, it was one of the best ones. It was only 300 quid. The problem was the pickups had like covers on them that made them look like EMGs, although they were the proper Gibson pickups. That was really good. I wasn't bothered with that. If you're talking about picking up a second-hand Les Paul, it had no paint on it. You know, it was like sort of the one where they sort of, how do we make it cheaper? We'll paint it like this. Shh, right next, like that, and it wasn't finished, but that was kind of all right. Hey John, the gig went great. It was really bad at the time. I was playing through the shittest amp I've ever seen. A 200-watt bass amp up full bung though, like level and gain full bung. But the monitor I had, because it wasn't loud enough, were fucking loud. My ears are honestly still ringing from last night. So it was stupid loud, but I've seen wee bits of videos folk have taken and it sounded really good out the front. So, which I kind of thought at the time, but it was just dead difficult because I wasn't able to fully go mental because I had to play things that I thought were going to be in tune rather than try something nuts and bend it into tune if it wasn't in tune. So it was a wee bit different. I've played some. Gordon Smith, when I first started playing the guitar, they did an SG, which I really liked. It didn't have a scratch plate. I think it was slightly pointier than a Gibson, and it looked fucking great. Never played one. I've not seen them. I don't know how. Maybe Gibson got annoyed with them or something like that. You know what? The Gordon Smith you always see is the Gypsy, and it's a wee bit like the Yamaha SG with the sort of. It's got the sort of double cut Les Paul thing, but it's ugly because they're wee stumpy horns as opposed to the Washburn Wing, which looks fucking amazing. TV yellow, yeah, but basically yellow guitars. There should be more yellow guitars. Actually, to be honest, this guitar's sticking to my arm as well. I think I'm just really dirty. It's probably just Ming on me. He used to go and see the punk bands at the Clarendon and Hammersmith Broadway. He was rocking once a time, apparently. Well, there you go. I used to get that a lot as well when I was like pure. I was maybe 20 or something. I forgot up here. Oh, I used to like heavy metal. I used to like Metallica and all that, but now I like Oasis. And you're like, you didn't like heavy metal. It was like, there's not anything. I've maybe kind of gone a little bit off like Deep Purple a little bit because I don't listen, and maybe Zeppelin as well a wee bit. Still fucking amazing. But I don't really listen to them, or they're not as highly rated as used to be. But I didn't go off them. If you pure love something, then you pure love it. It's in your heart and in your soul. It's not because it was cool, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not. I've already offended you by saying that you called another girl a bitch, which I think is quite a heavy thing. I should have said cow. That would have been a bit more appropriate. Looking on Gordon Smith copies are grand up. They used to be actually quite cheap. They used to be. I think the SG was actually slightly cheaper than the Gibson one. But I always liked the idea of being made. Well, in Manchester, I don't know, it's like 300 miles away or something like that. Oh. Hey John, was the Rory tribute? Yeah, they were good. I like the bass player. Yeah, they weren't as loud as us though, and we were a wee bit. My ears were still ringing from standing in front of a 200-watt bass amp up at full bung when I was too busy out talking to people and drinking Bucky to really notice them. Yes, but we did it. Me and my pal Peg came back and we watched a couple of pubs or something. Just takes a lot more to offend me. Okay, I'll try harder then. I'll try harder. I said I wasn't offending you. I was offending you by saying you called another. Right. Mm-hmm. But you know I love you, and I know obviously Jen as well because I'm. Well, this doesn't have J-Packs in the back, although isn't that very obviously a green boob? Yeah. But we did. My pal Peg back up here with the Rory Gallagher's. We listened to a couple of Rory Gallagher tracks, and one I asked to put on was the Philby, which is the one where he's playing a choral sitar, and the one that came up next on his thing. I don't know, we were pure steaming and talking shit, but it's like Rory had a phaser pedal on, and his guitar was lying face down on the stage. The band, the bass player and the drummer were pure ripping it, pure giving it, and he had this phaser pedal on, his guitar was on, and he was pulling it across the stage like this with it, and it sounded fucking great. And then he was like hitting it with a towel when it was lying on the ground. And it's like the band, the bass player's pure pissed himself laughing. He's doing this whole show thing where he's dancing about while his guitar's on the floor with a phaser pedal and he's gently pulling the lead so it's kind of scraping across the stage. And then he picked it up, playing a pure blustering solo. Fantastic. Whatever it was. Is it stage struck? There you go. Amazing though. I mean, what a fantastic video. It's like with that whole thing about just seeing when you got someone who's just got it. Rory Gallagher has it. I'm not really sure there's really that many songs that are pure love or no, but when you see him, it's like totally compelling. Oh, fucking just showman, amazing. LP Junior. I do quite like the double cut Les Paul Junior. I do quite. The thing is that I don't like. Forgot to smoke that. I don't like Les Pauls, but the Les Paul Juniors, I know they say Les Paul on them. And okay, they are Les Pauls, but I like them an awful lot more. You don't see very many of them. People don't bother copying them because it's not the one that Peter Green played, so they don't bother. I thought I hated people. It turns out I just hated customers. Yeah, I get that. I understand. Told my last pub 7 years ago. I don't know. I've never been a pub person, but I mean, I was in town last night. Obviously, I had to walk through it. It's like obviously I was a student in town. We're going 20 years ago. That was always a bit mental, but going into town at what times are they going at? About 4:30, 5 o'clock. Fucking mental. Although it's really quiet, I didn't have to stop at any of the streets to walk across because of this low emission zone. So all you get in the low emission zone is taxis, economy cars, and folk with their massive Range Rovers who just don't give a fuck and just pay the £12 so I can park outside. It's a really strange way of working it. You either shouldn't be allowed in or you should be allowed in, but you should have a valid reason, not just I'll just pay the money. The company will pay it in expenses. You know, doesn't seem right. I've actually, if you look at my videos, plugging my own channel. There was a guy, he had a studio, I can't remember where he was now. It wasn't far away from the Still Game Flats in Maryhill. And it was a blue Les Paul. It was like a Standards, but it had covered pickups that look a wee bit like AMGs. You get in for that for a setup, and it was a really nice guitar. And he didn't pay that much money for it. Time Gentle, Al Murray and Phil Daniels. Do I know who Phil Daniels is? I know Al Murray. You watched Rich Beato? I haven't done watching with Kirk Hammett. Although I have to be honest that when I was at Download, I've never been a huge Metallica fan, but I do like some songs a lot. I think what put me off was kind of maybe one of the first things I heard was that Some Kind of Monster DVD, which is a pure torture fest to watch. It doesn't matter what band it is, but it's pure torture. But when I saw them at Download Festival this year twice, and I think what Kirk Hammett, because he's such a big guy up here, I don't want any effects or any processing done on my sound at all. I want it to sound exactly like me just plugging straight into the desk. That's what it sounded like. His guitar sound was really bad, and he was playing that guitar, and it's like really bizarre. I mean, before watching Metallica live, obviously I love Robert, the bass player, because he's funny. And I thought Lars was a fanny because he's got one of those faces you just want to punch. And I thought the other guys were kind of all right. But after watching them live, the singer dude, not Kirk Hammett, James Hetfield, I like him. And I actually quite like Lars as well. And I never really saw Robert, but Kirk Hammett came across as a bit of a dick. The smoking ban coincided with the cheap supermarket booze, kicked it right in the nuts. Possibly. I never really got pubs. It's just because it was money. I'd rather have a bottle of Bucky and sit with my pals in the park and drink a bottle of Bucky than sit in a pub. Apostle Park. Nice. Driven past it plenty of times. They're all in the UK. That's because they're made here. Guy walks into a pub and his head is an orange. Why? He had 3 wishes, 1 hot wife, 2 millions of pounds, 3 wished my head was an orange. Man, Crafter did some 2 pickup. Crafter. Cruiser by Crafter. They did some stuff. You're prejudiced towards Rick Beato. Is that prejudice up, or like as opposed to against? I quite like his interviews. He did a couple of interviews where they did a couple that were really good. What was the one I did that I really enjoyed? The one with Nuno Bettencourt. I always thought Nuno Bettencourt was a fanny. But no, he's really cool though. His interview with Nuno Bettencourt's hilarious. And Nuno's like, it's actually Rick Beato's like, you never play guitar in whenever any interviews. Like, no, I don't do that sort of thing. And then, I don't know, at some point in the afternoon, obviously he's really good at relaxing people, kind of that Parkinson thing, not Parkinson's disease, like Michael Parkinson. And Nuno's like, I've heard to see this guitar, it's a 50s Gibson. Oh, and then you just see him, he's like fucking playing. You see him, it's like cutting. He's playing about 10 3-minute songs on 10 pure awesome guitars at Rick Beato's like, that's fucking great. He's playing that. That was it. Is it called Rise? That solo he did a few months ago with a pure. It's fucking amazing, and it's like I totally get it. And Scott was telling us that I used to listen to Extreme, and you would basically fast forward to the solos, and it's like, you fucking kind of weirdo doesn't listen to music and just fast forwards to the solos. And I totally understand now because the solos are amazing, and the rest of the drummer and the bass player are, I don't know, and the singers, I don't know. He just looks like a fanny. I'm sure he's all right. I'm sure he's great. He's a decent singer. He just looks like a fanny. But I do quite like him now. Like, there you go. Oh, an orange head. Right, I thought it was just one of those stupid fucking jokes. Okay. Yeah, it's a guitar player joke. Yeah, very good. I've got an orange amp. You can actually buy the head for that, but see, that's the combo. You can buy the exact same amp as a head, but all the knobs go the opposite direction. So instead of having the input at this side, it's got the input at this side. And then instead of having the power buttons there, they're there. And it's because, see, like on an amp like this one, so you've got, there's your amp, and the valves stick up like this into the head unit. That's exactly the same, apart from the valves stick down behind the speaker, so the whole amp's just flipped upside down, and then they print it differently. So you can buy that exact amp as a head, and that's what it comes down to. If you're going to buy one of these things, why buy the head? Okay, these are two different amps, but the head's this big, right? So it's only twice the size to get this one, which is the same amp, but you don't need a speaker cabinet. You can still plug it into a speaker cabinet because it's the same amp. You can plug it. I've got it plugged into that 3x12, but that way you don't need an amp. As in, if the speaker cabinet blows, you've got a spare one, and it's only, you're already carrying a heavy bastard anyway. So I would go for the combo, and the heads are much more expensive than the combo. So buy the. Hey, Ian, how's it going? Have you tried the Nuno Rat thing? No, but it was really funny when he was talking about it. He was like, yeah, I use this rat pedal. And I was like, I can't do anything without my rat. He's like, well, obviously I could play a gig if it came down to it because I'm a professional, but I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it. Obviously I could do, oh yeah, totally. It's like, you know. But yeah, no, I haven't tried the Nuno Rat thing where you have it when it's basically not doing anything, but it's just on. Yeah. His guitars are really small. You ever played one of the Washburn Nunos? You just expect it to be this, but a slightly different shape. No, it's this. I don't think. I think Nuno's not at all, man. Which is fine. I mean, it's one of those things you just don't understand when you're not short. I think it's an issue. I don't even notice. I wouldn't even notice. Until it gets pointed out, you go, his guitar's really small, and then it's like, it doesn't look that really small. It's the same as like when I got my SG, because I was obviously a big. I knew Tony Iommi used one. I knew George Harrison played one. All that, but I didn't really have photos. Whereas Angus Young, there were album covers that had him playing an SG. So I got an SG, and it was like, that's fucking much smaller than Angus Young's one. And it wasn't until I saw AC/DC and I was right at the front, and it's like Angus Young was on a stage that height and the same height as me. He really does look. Angus Young's one of those people you could walk up to and accidentally walk into him because you just assume he's another meter further away than he actually is. He really is like that height. It's bizarre. Fretless negative. Sorry, it's standard sort of way. Yeah, just beautiful. Yeah, you can pick up a TH30 combo for under 300. The head is over 400. Sounds identical. It sounds identical because it's the same amp, but upside down. It's just it's in a. But you get a speaker with it as well. And it's like even, I'm doing gigs. I want to play through a 4x12. That's fine, but just have that as well. You're already carrying a 4x12 cabinet. That's like, okay, it weighs a bit more, but not that much more. And then you've got, don't use the speaker. But it means that if you're going somewhere where you don't have room or you don't want to take the 4x12 or the 4x12 breaks, you've got a spare one. So just buy that. Yeah. Nino Nuno. Yes. But that's quite funny. Well done, Rangers. Yes. Very good. Am I talking about the wrong guitarist? I was assumed he was a nice chap. I'm talking about Nuno Betancourt, who I honestly I'd never seen him interviewed, but on that Rick Beater thing, I like him. The thing is, like, and I really his last song, the one where he does this, he does a thing when he's playing. It's like, fucking, how are you doing that? And he was doing it. You kind of assume it's some sort of pedal, and Rick Beater was asking, was like, up here, yeah, it's a delay pedal, isn't it? And he's like, up here, and he played it in a fucking acoustic. It's not. It's just really fucking amazing. Used to call him Nino Nano. Yeah, well, possibly, yeah. I don't know. I never really got the Extreme. I remember one of my pals from school been into it. I remember the song Warheads, and I kind of liked it, but I didn't really like Three Sides to Every Story. I think I actually ended up buying the record a few years later because I remember liking the song Warheads, and I didn't really get it. But as Scott said, you just put the solos on. The solos are fucking amazing. Just I mean, it's fine. Oh. Angus Young's Gretsch was given to him by Harry Vander when George needed the guitarist. He called his younger brothers who were much better than him. I didn't know Angus Young had a Gretsch. I know Malcolm Young had one. My dog could lick himself, not jealous. I'm liar. Yeah, totally. You're a liar. He's like, I'd heard that about Prince as well. These things can't be true. Mr. White, you got a tart for your dog? For me, it's like, tart. He doesn't have Paul Gilbert's personality. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, no, but it comes down to like all these shreddy folk, and even like your sort of maybe there. I suppose I'm looking at your being pure condescending, calling them shreddy folk. You know what I mean? It's like your Satriani and Vi are the two big ones. Both of those guys, when you see them in interviews and you see them talking, I think they're brilliant. They're absolutely lovely and great. It's a bit of a struggle to listen to a whole album, but I mean, a song's fucking great. But I wish they were in a band. Do you know what I mean? It's like if they were in a band, if it was like Richie Blackmore on his own, no. But when he's in Deep Purple, yeah, you know, it's like it needs a band as well. And I just like just been really good at it. I do. I mean, I think even Steve Vai's fucking hilarious as well. But it's like when you look at people who are like your big sessiony guys like the Steve Lukather, part of it is being pure amazing on the guitar, obviously. But if you're a dick, you don't get invited back. So these folk are pure brand new and really funny and all that. So you kind of get caught in. Paul Gilbert's fucking hilarious. But the thing is, I like Paul Gilbert's music. I'm not saying, I mean, I've got a couple albums, but I like his music's funny. It's like his guitar solos are always funny somehow. I don't know. It's like you can kind of it's totally him doing them. It's like technically it's really good, but it's not. It's always funny. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if it went boo, 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 at this point? And it's like that's what he does. It's not like, you know, Steve Vai obviously goes boo, 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 do it as well, but it's done in a sort of mature, considered, technically and classically brilliant bit. Yeah. Whereas Paul Gilbert, it's because it's funny. How do you feel about single pickup guitars? It's quite liberating. I've got too many of them, but I mean, it is quite liberating because suddenly it makes you play a bit differently because you start switching pickups because you can. I mean, it's like, you know, I've been doing all these stupid guitars that I've got. I did one for Jen, the basking shark one, with a Q because it looks like a basque, which I didn't know a basque was like a corset thing, sexy corset women wear. I call it the basking shark. I put 5 pickups in it, and it's got all these different sounds and shit. But none of my guitars have tons of sounds. None of the ones I keep. I was doing the bucket. I used to do switch casters, then I did bucket casters. And I would try it, go up here. Oh, what happens if you put 4 pickups in it? What happens if you, because I'm a bit silly. I can do stupid things with these things. I mean, this has got 3 humbuckers in it. So, I mean, the potential for doing stupid wiring is insane. I managed to do something that I don't think any other guitar's ever had. You know, it's like, so 3 humbuckers, right? It was just wired. So it was just basically, they were all just, you know, as you expect. This one, these 2, this one, these 2, this one. But I've got it wired as this one split, coil split, and the middle one coil split. Then a humbucker in the middle. And then position 4 is this one split and this one split. So you get 2, instead of on like the Paul Gilbert where you've got an HSH, which has got the coil splits, like the automatic coil splits, you get positions 2, 3, and 4 are Strat sounds. Strat sounds 2, 3, and 4, but you've got a humbucker at either end. Whereas this one has positions 2 and 4 are Strat sounds, but you've got a humbucker in the middle. I've never seen that before, but that's more my thing is to try and get not that many sounds, but maybe one interesting one. When it even comes down to something like that Strat in the end there, it's only got a 3-position switch because it's an old guitar. I found that really liberating because instead of having 5 sounds on the Strat, obviously 2 and 4 being the ones you use all the time because they sound awesome, that one doesn't have them. You can do the hint. You can wedge the switch and kind of hold it there between to get 2 and 4 if you really, really want to. But I've intentionally left it as 3 because it's making me use the middle pickup, which I'd never use the middle pickup. Oh. Looking forward to that acoustic chord. Is that you trying to pick it? Because I've already tomorrow. But yeah, I'll do your faith. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with it. All I need to do is have a wee bit of adjustment, a bit of clean, put strings on it. I'll do that. I will. Oh. AC/DC are the second best live band you've ever seen. That's a good one. Who's the best live band you've ever seen? I don't. You baby metal. I'm sorry. That concert at the Barras was fucking amazing. Try to think of who. that was relatively, it was the best live band I've ever seen. AC/DC on the Ballbreaker tour were fucking good. Ozzy at the Barras was fucking good with the Geezer Butler on bass, and they played nothing but Sabbath songs and 2 Ozzy solo songs. But I can't. I wasn't even drunk at that gig. I remember I had 1 joint, and I used my entire grant that I got from uni, which was £18. But I got it in 2 segments, and one of them was a tenner, which bought my Ozzy Osbourne ticket. And I had like £3 on me, so I bought 1 pint, and I had 1 joint hidden inside a pen, like a hollowed out fucking felt tip pen, and I collapsed basically, and some German guy carried me to the train. I remember that. That was fucking amazing. Love with Arthur Lee were awful good at Canterbury Festival. Electric Six were awful good at Glastonbury. Kind of funny ones. One maybe part of it's the not expecting to be good. So that happens with films as well. We'll go back on that. Sorry. Oh, whose telly's the custom on the wall? T-Gun, you've not been watching my videos. Unfriended, because I have done 7 videos on that guitar this week. There's one off because I did a review of that. I played that on Thursday night. I played that Mockingbird, but every other night it's been on that, my new fucking custom Telecaster, 1974, all original, apart from a couple of screws, one of the pots, and the strap buttons, all original, 1974, dated, mint condition. I fucking love it. I'll just not show you what's written on the headstock, and I'll play it and go, what do you think of this? And you'll go, oh, this is the most amazing 1974 Telecaster I've ever played. Guarantee it. Yeah. After the end, I'm getting my band's getting. Thanks very much, Alex. I don't believe you, but I mean, yes, I appreciate it. Well, you know one of the bands. It's different when it's one of your pals, isn't it? I'll just sit in the garden and throw my empty wine bottles, beer cans at passing cars and swear at people leaving the pub. I have trouble multitasking, so I'll stick with what I'm good at. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Was a German guy singing "I Will Always Not Love You." No, he was going, "Hey man, it's cool. You'll be all right. You'll make it." There's only for the. It just basically just carried me to. I wasn't drunk because I'd only had 1 pint. The problem was I didn't have lunch because I had enough money for lunch for a pint. And it was fucking Ozzy Osbourne, so I was like fucking insane. I got a bucket of water in the face from that far away about 3 times. Because we went in and it was we were supporting the support band was a band called Fear Factory, which I hated, but everybody was there to see Fear Factory. So we watched Fear Factory. This was our girlfriend at the time, and they were all headbanging on Fear Factory. I didn't really understand what it was. Industrial. I still don't know what that was. And then they went off, and then everyone left. And it was like, so there was half the people in the place, and then Ozzy came on. I was like, oh, this is great. I was like, that's Geezer Butler. I had no idea Geezer Butler ever played with Ozzy Osbourne solo. Has Geezer Butler, and he started with, or one of the very first songs was "Children of the Grave," and I went dun 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 dun, and I went dun 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 dun, dun, and got on the barrier right in front of Geezer Butler by the time it got to the singing bit, and then Ozzy was coming out with buckets of water, and I got like 3 in the face. Fucking amazing. Yeah. It's been your birthday all week. Well done. You should relax yourself and play some Telecaster. Sorry, you gave me a phone on Wednesday. You need to start on Wednesday. I'm over at Jen's wiring guitars. So any day but Wednesday, give me a shout, or on Sunday because I'm on here. What's UFO? I've never seen UFO. It'd be great. An all-nighter with the orb. So Blues in Trouble with 3 or 4 times. I have only 10 guitars in this room. The Fall 1982 lineup with extra drummer. I don't even know who they are. Fear Factory. I never got industrial metal. It was kind of like dance music or something. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't taking the right drugs. I don't know. Were people into drugs then? I found that, see, when I went to Ozfest 98, I was talking about this to Craig, the guitarist to Black Sabbath, and after the end last night. So I went to Ozfest in 98 when I was 20, I suppose. And I was the only person wearing flares. Because I was out to see Black Sabbath and I didn't understand the rest of it. And they were all, I don't know, full of E and stuff. I don't know, to listen to the pure. I saw Dimebag Darrell at that gig. And honestly, Dimebag Darrell, yeah, he deserved it. No, I don't mean deserved to get killed, obviously. I mean he deserved the praise he got. Because I knew his name from guitar magazines, but he came out on stage and it was like we're sitting there up here, and he was just fucking awesome. I can't remember anything he did, but he just came out and went, yay! And it was like the whole place just erupted, and the guy was fucking hilarious and brilliant. And it's like the charisma hit me immediately like that. That's fucking awesome. And you couldn't stop watching him. He was fucking brilliant. Don't remember any of the songs, don't like any Pantera songs, but what a guy. 2 weeks to look at throwing at the Hammerson. I've all watching Tangerine Dream. I don't even know what DF118s are. I know Super Traders. Cool rock all over the world. Anything at the Apollo, I was too young. Oh, met the artist did Monster Magnet LP covers. Prick. Fear Factory, the Deftones are bands I saw a few times live that everyone loved, but did nothing for me. I went to see. Was that tour? How many years ago was Download when I went? And it was the first band that was on the main stage on the first day was Last in Line, which was Vivian Campbell. I think it was people that used to be in Dio, and they were really good. And Vivian Campbell was playing a fucking Les Paul, and he was guitar. It was fucking amazing. And Def Leppard were headlining that night, and it was like, I don't like Def Leppard, but Vivian Campbell's in that. He was fucking amazing on the guitar earlier on. Yeah, he totally was. So I went back to see Def Leppard. Got 1.5 songs in. It was fucking gash. Oh god, Def Leppard just no. I mean, my pal Wayne, like whoever else we were after was up here. We're quite enjoying this up here now. Go and see who. You ever heard of Rob Zombie? No, I don't know. Let's go and see him. And he was fucking amazing. Best band of the whole. He was brilliant. It was that John 5 guy with his filled with fairy liquids Telecaster. It was the best guitar sound ever. And I don't remember any of the songs, but they were amazing. So Rob Zombie, awesome. I would go and see him. I don't know Ministry. I love Sabbath, but can't stand any of the bands they influence. I think that can't be true. That means you don't like any music after 1971. Everyone's fucking influenced by Black Sabbath. They're the best, in my opinion, the best band ever. I don't like tribute bands as a kind of rule. But I joined one. It gave me an excuse to play the bass. I've not been in a band for ages, and it was like Sabbath, and it was like turns out up here. Yeah, it's like, what songs is it you want to play? And I was like, I don't know. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. I'll just turn up. I'll be fine. I'll be able to play them. Not just pure fucking full of confidence. I've known Sabbath. I've listened to nothing but Sabbath when I was on my own. Couldn't listen to it with my pals because everyone else told me to turn it off. But on my own, nothing but Sabbath. When I heard that, it was like fucking. That was me. When I bought one of the first times I ever bought records cheap. I got Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Sabotage. Recorded them both onto one cassette, and that was just everything to me. It's like everyone's like, oh, have you heard What's the Frequency, Kenneth? Oh, the new Pulp album's good. There's more music in the album Sabotage than all of Britpop. Take all the most bizarre things in Britpop, all of it. There's more in Sabotage than everything put together. So it was me. No, I'm talking bands like Slayer and Metallica. Yeah, I don't really understand. I've seen Metallica. No, they do have some really good songs. There's that one I do like. The one where they're playing my Aria. Oh, I've sold it now. The Aria bass. That Cliff Burton guy. What's it called? For Whom the Bell Tolled. That's fucking amazing. But that's not the album. That's like a video. It's I think they're on first, like noon or something. At some fucking festival in America or something. It's pure sunlight and stuff. That's fucking amazing. And I was like, that's brilliant. So I bought the CD and put it on, and it sounds awful because that's the way they recorded. But I think a lot of Metallica, it's maybe a lot of the recordings, it's very, I don't know, fucking terrible. Whereas obviously this live thing was mixed by somebody else, like whoever it was did the sound for the video, did the sound, so mixed them the way I like things to be mixed, not this horrible metal playing dustbins louder than everything thing. I don't know. Actually, a few of my pals came to see us last night. Even my pal Rab came and he was jumping up and down and stuff, and he used to fucking hate Black Sabbath. But Black Sabbath's got a name, so you get this thing. Obviously, he's a few years younger than me, not that many. It used to be a big thing when I was 20 and he was 16. You know what I mean? But now, okay, we're the same age now. But I think it was that whole Black Sabbath. That's Satan, death, heavy metal. It's not. No, it does have. Obviously, your Slayers and all that came from that. Pink Floyd are the best band there has ever been, and there'll never be any band ever that are better. Night before I get abuse. I'm not giving you abuse. Pink Floyd, when they did Pompeii, if only Pompeii was an album, because Meadow is fucking good. It's got a couple of shiters on it though. The one with the dog howling and a couple of acoustic tracks, but like one of these days, and no, I get it. Played with Nick Cave 1985. That's a bizarre. Played with Nick Cave 1985. The guitarist was Blixa Bargeld. Borrowed my lead. Returned it with a thank you. Very nice and tall German man. I like that as a comment. That's a good one. One of my favorite comments. Try Priestess, Clutch, Soundgarden, Monster Magnet. All brilliant bands that started obviously with Sabbath. I've heard Clutch. I've heard Soundgarden. I don't know Priestess. I've heard Monster Magnet, and I was told when Monster Magnet was like pure. You're mad into Sabbath. I can't remember. It's a guy called Dave. There you go. It's one of Michael's pals. You must like Monster Magnet. I didn't like it at all. It didn't. I don't know. It's like, it's pure Sabbath, and it's like I can see how they were influenced, but it didn't have whatever it is that I like, and it's one of those things that you can't be right and wrong. You can always be right that Oasis are shite, right? That's fine. Black Sabbath are the best band ever. That's fine. But you either like something or you don't like it, and then you can start thinking about why you don't or why you do. But you either like it or you don't. In fact, I don't. I can't remember if I've seen Clutch or not. It might have been. I don't know. If I've seen Clutch, I've either seen Clutch or Tool at Download, and I have to say they were shit because I don't remember them at all. So I mean, they might have been good, but they weren't enough to catch my attention. That's right, Tegan. That's the first gig you've missed. Alton Towers. Wow, was it great? Was it better than Sabbath? One of these days live or something when I saw Floyd. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen Pink Floyd. I did see Roger Waters on the In the Flesh tour. Right, we're actually quite near the front. It was awesome. We're just smoking joints all the way through it and a plastic Viking helmet in Manchester, something like that. That was great. Was the sound guy good last night? Because your sound was better than Jinx. I didn't say that. There's one like the bass player in Jinx knew me from YouTube, so I haven't been able to be honest about these things. I don't know. I mean, they were sound checking for over an hour, and we had 15 minutes. They left us right up till 6:45 before we even got on. So we managed to, we got in, got the shite bass amp out the back, moved all our stuff because the other Dan didn't do it, and then set up, and then played one song, stopped, played another song, and then disappeared. The doors opened. We came back up at 8 and played. Yeah, but the thing is, we don't need a sound guy. Basically, our sound guy, we need someone to do the singing. Give Brian vocal monitors that he can hear himself. That's it. We don't need fucking anything else. And to be honest, he kind of failed that because I couldn't really hear the singing. What the sound we had on stage was pish. But we're already playing, so we made the most of it. It wasn't until I've seen some videos it sounded all right. The best band I want melancholy for Karen Carpenter. I want to dance, listen to reggae. I want to cry, listen to Nick Drake. Karen Carpenter though. I was in a band and I wanted to cover Superstar. I thought, don't you believe it? You better call me baby. Dun, 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 dun. I think there is not a heavy metal version of that exists or that can be done, but a really powerful power metal Manowar style one, but with the correct singing, but just a bit more. There's an amazing song in there that I've not heard. Type O Negative. I don't even know them. Oh, I don't know. Type O Negative. Oh. Jar at Destination Docklands. More fireworks I've ever seen my whole life in a party. You could hear it 7. When was that? I might have watched that live on YouTube. Jean-Michel Jarre. I went through a wee bit of a. Jean-Michel Jarre's got a song, Equinox. The Equinox, there's a video for it where he's wearing flares on a beach. And it's fucking great. So I get Jean-Michel Jarre for a certain amount. I don't know if I like all of it, but fantastic. October 1988, I was on Margaret Mushrooms. I don't know. I'm still thinking about the best. Actually, the best gig I ever saw was Caravan at the Renfrew Ferry. There you go. That's the best. That's the best gig I've ever been to. Was Caravan at the Renfrew Ferry. Fuck it. We didn't really know what to expect, and they didn't know what to expect, and we got a mosh pit going. It's like at Caravan, as in. At the ferry, I think a lot of people were dragged along by their other half of their pals to go and see her. And then immediately, the first song wasn't Memory Lane Hugh. I don't know what it was, but we were all fucking doing almost a mosh pit. It was maybe about 8 of us or something went, me and all my pals, because we were all. Listen, I remember going to the toilet, and it was like you had to go through the door had a batten down the hatches thing where you turn the handle and it went and at the top and the bottom, going in there, and then to roll a joint, and then forgetting the skins and having it unlocked and go back out to the front, right at the front, go up here, you got skins, I get skins, go back out, come back out of the joint, and then we were pure going mental, and we were literally looking up at Pie like that, and Doug Boyle was playing the guitar, just there, we never know who he was. So who's that guy playing a headless guitar with a vest on? Then as soon as he started playing, he was fucking amazing. But the first song, I remember the second song was Memory Lane Hugh, which is like ding 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 bass boom 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 like that. So we're sitting there playing it, and Pie was like pure fucking looking down, going like, what the fuck's going on here? There's fucking 20-year-olds all going fucking mental for this. Everyone else is in their 50s. That you can sing along with this one if you want. I'm happy, all right. Second song, happy, and then it was like, ding. We're all like that. You could see him kind of looking down, going, why are they not jumping about? And then when the bass came in, we went fucking mental, fucking proper headbanging, and anyone who was drunk immediately just kind of and came over. So there was basically ended up in about 30 of us going fucking nuts on the floor. It was amazing. That's the best gig ever. There you go. Calling occupants of interplanetary most extraordinary craft. We've been observing your. I've never heard that. Don't know. Jean-Michel Jarre, Oxygen. Actually, I don't know. You know, we used to watch the end of when I got the DVD of 2001. At the end bit where it starts going mental. We used to put that on in the DVD player, and then I would listen to other things, and it went along with so many things because it's about 20 minutes. So Omadon, animals, dogs were fucking brilliant for watching this all the way. I've forgotten what I'm talking about now, but that was amazing. We're talking about, but I know on the other point I watched. I'd heard about Metropolis. On YouTube, you can get Metropolis, the original, the sci-fi film that started it all and whatever it was. And if you put on the album Oxygen to go along, which is a silent film, and listen to it, see by the time you get to the halfway through the first side, it syncs up like fucking makes absolute perfect sense. I really enjoyed that. I've heard someone calling him Honk. Yes, no. When he did an auction part 4, listening to it at the beginning, it was like a Jake jerking off, then boom, the bass kicked in with your ribcage was rocking along with it, yeah. Ringo played there the other night. I've actually seen Ringo, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was hilarious. The earliest gig I've ever come out of, we came out the gig, and it was like broad sunlight. It's like, well, what we doing then? It's like it's 10:15 or whatever it was, or 9:30, and Ringo had already been on, done his shit. Ringo was fucking amazing. And as a boat, you never really know who's in Ringo's all-star band. And it was a bit going up here. I don't know much. That's Edgar Winter, isn't it? And then, I don't know, one of the songs is up here, yeah, and it's like Edgar Winter comes out with a keyboard, fucking like a proper weighs a ton 70s synth round his neck. He's up here, yeah, I'm Edgar Winter, yeah. And it's like, pure 1969. I put guitar strap on my keyboard and made rock history. And it was fucking amazing, yes. And it was Rick Derringer was playing the guitar, who was in Edgar Winter as well. Amazing. Freddie Mercury did a Metropolis soundtrack. Did he? I don't know. Metropolis is really fucking good though. It was not edited down from 2 hours to like 45 minutes or something like that when it actually get released, but there's a relatively hour and 45 minutes version of it, and it is fucking nuts. It's really mental. Obviously, we know. I think Queen, is it Radio Gaga that's got bits of Metropolis in the video, and basically that was a big fucking hit video, and they made a loss on that video because they had to pay the rights for Metropolis because they had to have it, so they had to pay the rights, and whoever it was, the film companies like that, Queen, they're quite big. That were fucking got to be $12 million or whatever it was, so they actually made a loss on that, but they had to have it. See, I don't know that much about Ethnicolor. When I first got my surround sound system, though, there was a whatever that is. It was a Jean-Michel Jarre album that basically on your TV screen it just gave you, it was like a girl's eyes. It was white with her eyes, and her eyes kind of looked about a bit, but it was proper 5.1, like proper fucking mixed, absolutely stunning. And it was better. It would just be like boom, 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 boom. Fucking amazing. I can't remember what it was called. That is worth it. If you've got a surround sound system, just buy that. It's worth it. ZZ Top 88. Remember waiting in line to piss in the sink? That's very similar to I managed to get a girl I went to school with when I was still at school to go and see AC/DC Ball Breaker tour. And this would be 98, something like that. About, a bit of AC/DC and stuff like that. We're going into the SCCC in Glasgow, and there were, I can't have imagined this. It must be true, but in the place there was folk on Harley Davidsons inside the SCC in the middle bit, the SCCC, and there was all these girls wearing, like, at the time, pure old girls with fat bottoms wearing really skin tight jeans, like 80s people. But this is 98. But when it's like, and I remember having to wait for a queue to get in for a piss before the bands came on, and going in, and it was just eventually getting to the front of the queue, and then just hundreds of folk taking the pisses. Oh, there's a space, and going in, and it was literally the way it worked out. There was obviously urinals along this wall, but this wall was all sinks, and it was basically 2 folk to a sink pissing. So he's like, you got there, and I was like, up here, I'm pissing in a sink here, and it was just all bikers. It was mental. That was an amazing gig. Yeah, and they started off at AC/DC. That was one of the best gigs ever, actually. Before they came on, I never saw a support act. I don't know if there was one, but it was like a Roman Greek temple thing. Was the stage. There was no stage. It was just like a big fucking full size front of the Stirling Library type thing. And then slowly this wrecker's ball came out, like an arm with a fucking big, obviously polystyrene ball thing came out. The ball was 10 feet wide or something. And it came out over the crowd. They're looking up at it, and it's like, and then it started rolling down really slowly. This took like 10 minutes. Everyone's, oh, and then it started swinging really slowly, like over your head, like that. And I was like, oh, oh, oh. And then it hit the stage and there was a big flash and the whole temple thing must have been made of styrofoam. It slopped down and AC/DC were on. It was fucking amazing. And Angus was still doing the able to lie on the ground and run round in circles while he's on the. He didn't do that by the time I saw him in Stiff Upper Lip Tour, which was nothing like as good, but Ballbreaker was fucking amazing. Just dropping names there, Pontiac's that when I was hanging with Bernie Marston. Yeah. He called Ringo Ritchie. That's how I knew he was somebody. I had to ask. Yeah. Freddie Mercury, Love Kills is all Metropolis, but maybe because Queen paid for it already, possibly. They might have just bought the whole rights to the film. I don't know how it works. Yeah. I do actually have I've got the Freddie Mercury album, which is actually No More Mr. Bad Guy, which is actually really good. You know, that pair, Mr. Bad Guy. It's got a really bad cover, but it's fucking great. That's a great album. Big fan of Freddie Mercury, that album particularly. And I love the way on the back it's like with a thanks to, and it's got all the people, and then a special thanks to, you know, Brian, John, and Roger for not being on my album, basically. When I saw Hawkwind, wow, the alien that would have been my first gig, but I didn't go because I didn't know who Hawkwind were. And by the time that my pals had all gone, it was like, oh, I heard Hashish, and but I didn't go. That should have been my first gig. Should have been Hawkwind. I don't know when the Alien tour, and the bloke who was dressed up as a caveman on stage jumping around. It was like Stig of the Dump was on stage. Sounds fantastic. I didn't see Hawkwind until maybe 10 years ago with Dave Brock, but I did see Nick Turner's Space Ritual, which I think had more of the original members of Hawkwind from the first 3 or 4 albums, like when Lemmy was there, than Hawkwind did at that time, maybe 2002, 2003. And then after the gig, it was great. And they were playing, they did play fucking Masters of the Universe. And then the following day, we were sitting there on this field, Mount Ephraim Gardens in Canterbury. That's sitting there, obviously getting stoned and drinking like fuck, even though it was only lunchtime. That's sitting there like that, literally sitting there. That's the guitarist who was playing with Hawkwind. Mick Slattery, his name is. Hey, you were playing with Space Ritual yesterday? Is that up here? Yeah, man. Is that up here? Yeah. Just sitting on the grass. I was like, up here, yeah. Could you sign my guitar? He was like, up here, yeah, no problem, man. So I want to get the rest of the band to sign it. And I was like, that'd be... And the rest of the band were fucking just sitting next to him. I just hadn't noticed him because he was sitting next to me, just like on a fucking field. Brilliant. Yeah, Brock would have been. I think Brock was the only original one, but basically the band that I saw, Nick Turner Space Ritual, was everyone who was on probably Space Ritual, but definitely in the Search of Space. It was that whole band. So I've got a piece of. I actually threw the guitar away because it was crap, but I cut out, like with a saw, the bit on the top where I got all the band to sign it. So I do have all of the original Hawkwind signers. The drummer was fucking lovely as well. I can't remember what his name was. But we were just sitting there like that. They were just sitting next to us all fucking day. It was like 3 or 4 bands in. I was sitting there going like, "That's you were playing with Hawkwind." Just like, up here, yeah. It was like fucking lovely folk. Everyone but Nick Turner, because although I'm sure Nick Turner was lovely, he looked really scary. He's a kind of face, mental. I've got fucking pissed. I'm going to put out if anyone is still here, I'm going to put out the video for the GoPro footage from last night at the gig, so it's easy for everyone who missed it. Although it's not it doesn't have a good mix. I will try and mix something because quite a lot of people have taken videos and sent them to me from different locations. So I'm going to try and kind of edit something together. It's got from different camera angles and maybe slightly different sound sources. It's quite a solid sound we've got, but you can't really hear the singing because it's basically, you can hear the drums because they're 6 feet away from the camera. You can hear the guitar because it's there, and you can hear me because I'm a loud bastard on the other side of the stage. But you don't hear any of the PA because we're actually behind it. So the singing's a bit low, which is really fucking annoying. I wish there was some way of enhancing it somehow. But it was interesting. We need to do more gigs though. If anyone's putting on gigs, give me a shout. It was really annoying because maybe 10 people didn't ask me, right? But groups of folk, half a dozen folk, all from groups of 4 or 5 people, when I was outside after the gig, asked me when the next gig was, because that was fucking amazing. And we don't have another one. Plus, we also had to cut our set down like fuck. We learned some new songs for this gig, and it was like, yeah, totally. We get, and then when it came down to how long have we got? We've got an hour and 15, and then we timed it. We actually had an hour and 45, so we had to drop like 4 of the songs that we'd learned to be new. Right, okay. And then when we timed the set in the studio, I'd edited it as like end of the song, bang, start the next song, bang, and not really realizing that actually you kind of have to wait for people to stop clapping before you do the next song. So we ended up having to drop fucking like we cut it down. We cut it down from what we had as an hour and 45 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes, and we had an hour and 15 minutes to play. And we pure chopped it to fuck. And then when we had to play it, was like, and it got to the sort of halfway through, and it was like, oh shit. And we're just going to go into Snowblind. We've gone into the drown tuning one we played. What was the first up? After Forever, which is one of the new ones. That was fucking great fun. A lot of people filmed that for some reason. So we did After Forever, and then we still had songs to go. The ones we're best at, the ones we're best at are National Acrobat, Into the Void, Children of the Grave, and Lord of This World. And we'd worked this all out, and basically we're going into Snowblind, and it was like, I was like looking. I was Brian the singer had a watch on. I was looking. I was like, 9:05. We've got to get off at 10 past. I was like, up here. There's up here. Yeah, this next one's called. And I was like on the floor with the set list, pointing at fucking National Acrobat. There's up here. Okay. This is called National Acrobat, and so we did National Acrobat, going into the Voids, and then that was it. We did Paranoid, and it was like, pish. We never got to play the ones that we're best at. They're maybe a wee bit obscure. We did a crazy. I think that I don't know if there's a be interesting because there's another 2 black. There's a Sabbath band and an Aussie band playing this month or next month in Ivory Blacks, Sabra Cadabra and something else. And we're like, bastards, at least we're on first. And I just hope that all the people that came to see us go to that as well. Because, and the thing that the video they had on YouTube was obviously edited and chosen from different gigs, so they chose the best bits. We didn't do that. But my God, it's a different thing. You know, there's a big difference between. See, when you get a pub band playing a cover, I don't understand the pub band thing. I understand that it's fun. Oh, I'm playing guitar and I like playing guitar, but there's no passion in it whatsoever. So it's like, yes, we learned this from a book, and it's just like that's not what makes music good. It's not. It doesn't really necessarily. I would rather than see, like a band playing pedestrian versions of hit songs. I would rather see a band that were really fucking into playing songs I didn't know, because if they're really fucking into it, you get like there's a drive and a power to it which you don't get in a pub band playing Black Magic Woman sort of thing. It's like it must be really difficult doing that. I would really struggle. Especially if it's a song you've played for 10 years or 20 years, and the Sabbath bands were not the same. I don't think, I said some of the tribute band names are great. Yeah, totally, but I don't think After the End's a super great name, but it's fine because we've got the logo that looks like Master Reality, and we kind of play that album pretty much. But it's a difference. I don't know. It's a funny thing with that band. It's we're a team. It's like without one of us, it doesn't work. It's like the icing on the cake is the fact that Brian sounds so much. He can do whether he's a good singer is not in question. It's he sounds like fucking Ozzy to the point of we're doing After Forever, which was a new one for us, and we're playing it. And I was listening. There was a bit I wasn't sure about. I'm not never get a bit dun 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 da da da. Not the other bit that's kind of like that bump. That bit there's a bit that's kind of strange. So I was listening to it on YouTube, the album version, and we're playing along. So I listened to it through. And I was like listening to it, going, "All right, okay, I know that bit now." And I was like, and then I started playing along with it, and it was in the wrong key. I was like, "That's because it wasn't us. It was the actual Sabbath version. Granted, it wasn't the record. It was, like an MP3 or something that you get off YouTube. I genuinely forgot that it wasn't us because the fucking Brian said. I mean, obviously the rest of the band is kind of not too. It's feasible that you're going to have the bass and the guitar and the drums because we really know what we're doing, sounding like the band. But when did you ever hear the singer that sounds so like it that I genuinely thought that it was us, and I couldn't understand why we were playing in a slight one note out or two notes out because it was fucking it was mental. Oh, it pays though. Yeah, no, there is that. Yes, well, actually, the drummer and the bass player and the Rory Gallagher band was telling me he does a ZZ Top thing. I was like, I'm not really that much of a fan of ZZ Top, but we play it. We've got like a big plastic cactus that goes on stage, and it's like we get, I'm getting handed £400 a night for playing this. Like that. I mean, it's kind of selling your soul. And to be honest, I would for £400 a night, I would fucking play ZZ Top. I would just learn it, but I would enjoy it. I would play it my own way. I suppose it's that whole thing about there's playing it exactly the same as the record, and there's playing it with the same passion as the record, but not necessarily exactly the same as the record, whereas we are very much a case of playing with the same outlook as the band rather than sound. We don't necessarily sound exactly like the record, but that's not really the point. We've got the guts of it. Oh. If there was one, if I hear one more band play a lackluster, cheesy, play that funky music white boy, I'll scream. I don't know, so Malcolm got down to his Y fronts. I didn't quite get down to my Y fronts, no, but yeah, I did do a bit of a strip during one song because we went on dressed in the monks' outfits and all that, and they're basically it's like they're fucking they cost a tenner. Monk outfits are hoods and a fucking robe and a rope and a fucking wooden cross thing. So we're out like that. Just like as soon as you go out, as soon as the lights come on, it was just pure sweat fest for Black Sabbath, the song. And immediately, thanks, Jez. Again, this week's live stream, because I'm getting demonetized, sponsored by Jez. Fantastic. If you after this, I'm going to put on a if you ever get a show at Krakatoa in Aberdeen, they've got a proper 4K camera set to record folk playing tune. Might be handy to promo stuff. We were up there Friday. Hey, band side, we'll give it a go. I mean, we would go up to Aberdeen. It's like we should be playing to folk, and we want longer though. An hour and 15 minutes is not enough. We're sitting there like that. You're sitting there with a where is it? It's on the floor somewhere. Oh shit, I can't find it now. I forgot to take it with me. Is that it there? This could be anything. There we go. So there's the set list that we had before we had to chop fucking 4 songs out it. So we've got Black Sabbath, Behind the Wall of Sleep, Fairies Wear Boots, NIB, Iron Man, War Pigs, God is Dead, Downtune, Different Bass, Tomorrow's Dream, Lord of this World, Snowblind, National Acrobat, Into the Void, Sleeping Village, Children of the Grave, After Forever, Lord of this World, and Paranoid. Right, how you can fucking drop from that? They're all fucking amazing, but you can't not play Black Sabbath. You can't not play Fairies Wear Boots because we're good at that. You can't not play NIB. You can't not play Iron Man. You can't not play War Pigs. It's fucking pish. We need 2 hours basically. A proper one. Demonetized. I don't know. I've given up. It's like I get every by the time after about an hour it gets demonetized. I don't get any adverts on it, and so I put in a claim for the demonetization. 75% of the time, it's like pure yes. We had a human review. and your thing was fine. That comes through on a Thursday. Who watches a live stream from a Sunday on Thursday? Nobody does, so I get nothing from it. I decided just not to give a fuck. Just fucking just drink and smoke and talk shit anyway. I don't really care. I've never heard of Beatles. But cheers, Jez, again. Fucking you're a pure legend. I've never heard a Beatles tribute band that sounded like them. The instruments are fine, but the voices never make it. Well, see, that's the thing with Brian, the Aussie guy. When our first singer left, in the lurch, because he was obviously a knob. I remember the drummer used to give him a lift into the studio. After he'd left, we went back in to record that. I tried singing NIB and stuff like that. I thought, to be honest, I could kind of done it. I didn't realise I could sing the whole set. I just thought NIB's the only one I can sing, but there's only a couple of Sabbath songs that I can't sing and play at the same time. But I don't sound exactly like Ozzy. And is it the drummer's like up here? Yeah, no, it's like, I think he might have been really racist. And we're like, what? Like, just when I was driving in, just some of the things he said, he's like, I think he was a real racist. But wow. Never knew. He was always a wee bit strange, but he was good at singing the early Aussie stuff. And then it was like, I was like, well, we'll put an advert up, the same as you got me. Fucking, you put up looking for Geezer Butler, and then there's, they booked the studio from 12 to 6, and they had like, I don't know how many half-hour slots, 6 half-hour slots to try out all the bass players. And it was like, pure, yeah, do you want to come in between, like, 3 and half 3? That's cool, yeah, totally, see you on Sunday. And then it went, we're going down, and basically it come down to the drummer, Rob, fucking love you, but he's dead now. I get cancer, but lovely guy. I'd sent him a video of fucking before that, I'd me playing a song on the guitar, the Hard Road, and I think he just decided that's him there. That's the bass player there. Even though I was playing guitar in the video, I don't know, but so I went in. It was up here. Eventually, it got down to, I think it was the Friday or the Saturday, but it was up here. Yeah, he's still coming in on Sunday, and I was like, up here, yeah, and he's like, up here. Well, just come in at any time you want, because they just like decided that nobody else, even from anything else, and it was like I just went in. We played a couple of songs, and then we're just rocking through them. And then after about half an hour of jamming or playing, I don't know, they didn't tell me what songs we were going to play, because I kind of thought I could play them anyway. And then it was like, actually, it's okay if I go out for a fag. Now that I've thought about it, because like after 30 seconds, I was like, right, I'm in this band. This is fucking it. They've done it. It's not very often you find somebody who can play the guitar or play the drums like Sabbath, and they could. So I was like, right, I'm in. That's it. Fuck it. Done. I was like, right, I'm going to, I'll go out for a fag so you can talk about me. And then when I came back in, they were like, up here, yeah, you're in. I was like, I just assumed I was after 10 seconds. It's great. The YouTube gravy train is over. I don't think there's much of a gravy train. I think if you pander to the masses and do what people want, you can make money. I mean, I could still talk about. I could fucking get review the Harley Benton guitars, say they're great, lie and make money, but I wouldn't be able to do that. The bootleg Beatles weren't too bad. First, I was just bought an Oasis at Lomond. Night Prowler by AC/DC for some riffs. Got the song. I'm a Night Prowler. I used to jam night years ago, and there was a bloke who looked and sounded like Jim Morrison. I never heard in like Brian. Plus, he once gave me a T-shirt and then took it back to give it to Hot Kiddo. that is Brian. Yeah, no. So basically, when we're looking for a singer, I was like, I put an advert out, and Craig's like, that pure. No. I think I found a guy. Well, pure, all right. It was a band. If you look up a band called Talk of the Devil. And it's like they'd split up like a year before or 2 years before. And honestly, it was like, look at it. He was wearing a wig and he had the white, it was an Ozzy Osbourne tribute band. And he was wearing like, the white jumper with the tassels under the arms, and he had a wig on. But fucking hell, did he sound like Ozzy? It was like, whoa, you think you can get him? And it took Craig about 3 weeks of badgering him to get him to come into the studio. And he came into the studio and it was like, up here, do you want to just play a song anyway and see? So I had to fucking sing NIB in front of him. And you could see him kind of standing, like we we're just kind of auditioning for him. And then after it was up here, you guys play Pure Deep. I like that. Okay. Up here, right. What song sounds like? I was up here. I quite like Fairies Wear Boots. So I will play Fairies. And as soon as he started singing, it was like, fuck me, totally sounds exactly like Ozzy. And then he was in the band and he's fucking amazing. And then when our drummer died, his pal Alan, who was in that Ozzy Osbourne tribute band, came in and he's fucking amazing as well. And it's a pure 4-piece thing where it's like it's a band where I can do whatever I fucking want. Any of us can. I've never been told to do anything, never been told to not do anything. None of us have. The occasional bit is like, what key is this bit in? What's that first note? B, right? That's as far as it goes. It's fucking nuts. It's amazing. I've seen the original Beatlemania at a mall. The bassist was a dead ringer and Lefty too. The Beatles' voice are so unique and the accent's definitely hard to do. Yeah, we've only got the one guy singing though, so it's like, but that's our trump card. I mean, I did a wee demo reel and I was trying to. It starts off with what is this? That's that. It's totally fucking. It's just like fucking. It's Ozzy. Even making the same mistakes. It's like fucking. It's ridiculous. And then so I kind of tried to cut it up and then try to put a bit of an instrumental music because obviously we're only a 3-piece, but you have to be a specific type of bass player, a specific type of drummer, and a specific type of guitarist to play it. Otherwise, you sound like a pub band. I've heard plenty of pub bands play Paranoid, but it doesn't sound like Black Sabbath. There's our one kind of we don't even play Paranoid. We play it at gigs. Even we did a gig where we didn't even play Paranoid, and then that was the last one we did was in Paisley. We didn't expect to get an encore. Like one more song, like fucking folk chanting for 5 minutes. And it's like we're off the stage. Like, there's folk out there shouting for another song. I was like, we'll just play Paranoid again. So we kind of went back out. I was like, I'm really sorry, guys, but we don't know any more songs. We could play Paranoid again. So we played Paranoid again. It was great. Yeah, that made it up. You go to YouTube without signing in, you see the most incredible shite with 20 million views. Yes, I've done that before. When you've not linked your... I don't know. That's like, see the number, see the YouTube shorts. Is it Facebook shorts? And it's like pure, 3.2 million views, and it's basically just a girl doing weights, but she's wearing really tight yoga pants, and you're just like, I don't like the YouTube shorts where it's like, oh look, here's a dog that's going to see like their owner's been away for a holiday for 3 weeks. Oh, fuck off! We don't deserve it. Another band just spoke to was the Gyres. I think I've heard of the Gyres. You try getting a gig at Beat Generator in Dundee. They put on lots of tribute bands. Only bad bit is setting your gear up and down about 3 flights of stairs. But I don't really need that much beer. Get 2 basses and that amp. I don't need fucking anything else. I think it's a wee bit. It's just me heckling you. You're fine. The problem is, Tegan, you're back in the video I took because you were operating the GoPro. It was sitting right next to you. I heard everything you fucking said. Like pure, oh, sexy Malco. You actually said that fucking like, well, I don't know how loud it was, but obviously the GoPro was sitting in front of you like that. Yeah. I noticed. Yeah. I don't have yoga pants. No. Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole thing about once you get old, maybe I just don't have enough money, or I want to try and keep my money. Yeah, it's expensive. Oh, I suppose I did manage to get the bus home, but there's no night buses anymore. Like, how do folk go into nightclubs and stuff? Like, unless you're from the centre of Glasgow, how do you go? When I used to go into fucking Helter Skelter in the garage and all that shit, we'd get it was like, if you missed the midnight bus, you'd get the 1 o'clock, the 2 o'clock. And it was the 4:20 was the really mad one, where you'd be sitting there like that, and then you would hear someone being sick, and everyone would just pull their legs up, and you would get puke flowing in below you. The 4:20 night bus. There's no night buses. So the last bus I could get home was at 11 o'clock. I managed to get a bus to Kirky at the last bus at midnight. So how? But nightclubs are. Does everyone just have to get taxis? I don't know. Fucking terrible. Oh. Right, I'm nearly finished my bucket. I'm going to give you all a treat, though. I'm going to, well, not really quite. I'm going to put a link up for the gig we did last night, which will not be ever going live. I might do some sort of edited thing of one of the songs, but I'm going to put it up at the end. Kids are too much money, possibly. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where do they fucking get the money. Used to get the bus to the airport, walk back Paisley from there. Wow, did you end up having to go cross country to do that? And there's no night buses from George Square. Even when because I fucking get stuck there last time we went on a bad night out. I was like, it's fine, I'll get the night bus. You know, one. It's midnight. It'll be fine. I didn't realise I'd missed the last bus. I mean, I'm not even talking about getting back to Milton Camp. See, if I can get to Kirky, which is it's civilization. I'm outside civilization, but I've literally got maybe 2 miles to get to Lidl. Not enough time to smoke a fag when I'm in the car. It's 2 minutes in the car. But I can get to Kirky's civilization. I've got a Lidl that far away, but I'm in the fucking middle of country, and at night when I've got the window open, I can hear sheep fighting each other, like in a field somewhere over there. And there's no fields for fucking about a mile. It's really fucking quiet and amazing. Pine shy at the airport, Tesco, well pissed. Kids sell drugs. They can't fucking. Somebody must buy the drugs. I don't know how it works. You're not selling drugs to me. I don't know. I don't understand the drugs thing either, to be honest. Kirky is civilization. But then once my car broken into, well, there you go. Yeah, no, but that's the sign of civilization is a Lidl. Civilization. There's a McDonald's right opposite as well. So basically, I'm not doing too badly, but not. See, whenever I'm coming back from anywhere ever at any time of night, there's a 24-hour McDonald's that I have to drive past 5 minutes before I get home. So the fact that I don't that often buy, like maybe once every 2 months, I buy like I was going to say a cheeseburger, but obviously I buy 2 cheeseburgers and a chicken meal. You know what I mean? But sometimes if I've got money in my pocket, but yeah, maybe once every 2 months I do that, which is quite difficult. Kids know the economy runs on debt. Okay. Yeah. Well, town was mental. I was walking about feeling really old. I felt really guilty. I felt really strange walking down. I had to walk from Buchanan Street bus station down to the Clyde, and I was like wearing my flares because the Sabbath band. I felt a wee bit self-conscious about it. And I used to wear flares. Trying to find door glass for a 1985 Ford Escort Cabriolet the days before eBay was not fun. I can imagine. Yeah, you're talking about phoning up people and looking in Scottish Supermart and the paper. And it's like, well, Supermart came out on a Wednesday, so that was posted. So it's like, how early to the morning do you get there? And it's like, and it's a phone, a landline, because you didn't have mobile, so you'd have to phone when they were in. And I don't remember Scott ads. Would that maybe be? There was another one. There was Supermart, which was yellow, and there was another one. It might have been that. Your guitarist did some fine for us. Fucking, he's got amazing. He's got the biggest flare selection I've ever. The yellow paper. No, Craig's flare collection is fucking amazing. What happened was, when first time I was in the Sabbath band, I went in and I was like, up here, guitarist wearing flares. That's pretty cool. And then, obviously, by the end of the 3-hour session, or the 6 hour, I was there for the whole fucking time until they went home because it was like, this is fucking great. The only thing that really got me with the Sabbath stuff was I had no idea what to play behind any of the solos so I was kind of doubling the solos with the guitarist and just kind of doing my own thing. It was complimentary, but it was nothing like the album. There's bits in War Pigs where I'm basically just sitting going. That kind of thing for 3 minutes. You know what I mean? I was like pure trying to play along. I was harmonizing with the solos and stuff, and it was like pure, yeah. But every song, you were just running through their entire set list. And I was like, every song was like pure. All I needed to know was what was the first note because I could play every fucking song on a guitar because it was Sabbath and my favorite ever. Camera in the scrapyards and climb up the 4-car. Oh, I dropped your You're not a girl anyway, Sloan Range. I don't believe you. How did the cowboy feel walking about at night in Glasgow without flares? I don't know. But I do remember trying to get bits off cars when you're 2 cars up or 3 cars up, and it's like trying to get in the engine, and it's like that. It's a fucking car. You're going to die. Yeah, I have done that before. Trying to get bits, and just looking through getting bits for my Capri and all that, and it's like just up here fucking. They've got the original ashtray, and it's like you're just taking bits of the door seals and all that. Anything that was kind of not quite right, and you'd be up here going out with just a big fucking armful of crap and the bit that you were actually in for. I'm in to get this, but I've got all this shit as well. I did have days of balancing a Cavalier bonnet. You just buy them on fucking eBay, don't you, man? It's a sad state of affairs, but it's the best. A Calibra, wow. Were they 30 years old? I can't remember them being new. So I always try and pick up bits and pieces when one pops out. Wow. I mean, I wish I was more into cars. I just can't be bothered. I still like my wee Panda. Although, when I came out the studio last week, Brian, the singer, he's quite well to do, and he's got like, I don't even know what it is, an Audi or a BMW or something. And it's honestly definitely twice the length of the Panda, and I'd parked in front of him. So you're looking at it, and it's like, here's a car here with 2 doors, and then here's the Panda. It was fucking ridiculously small, but I still like. Oh, better than a Virgin and Paisley these days. Yeah. I don't know. Hate cars, always have. I don't know. Walking sucks. I just wish I could get a car that was just simpler. I don't want any crap. Usefully just. How did it become exempt from the LEZ thing? Yeah, bastards. The problem is, I mean, I don't know. In saying that, my Panda, it's like my road tax is like £25 a year, and it's like pure. It's ridiculous. Over 30 years old. 95. Bastard, my Land Rover would have been exempt. The 40-year exemption, yeah. Because my Land Rover was 94. So next year it would have been. I had to get rid of it though. I wasn't. I typed in just to see because in my mind I've only got like a 1.3 diesel, but it's a diesel. It's just that whole thing about. I don't know how it comes. It's fucking annoying. The bastards are able to do this right. Channel content. Copy. Okay. Right. No, I'm sorry. I can give you our Sabbath set. This is the only chance you'll ever get to see it because I won't put it out. Because this is a warts and all, so it takes about 2 minutes to start while we're all fanning about waiting for the DJ to decide to stop and let us play. But yeah, it's just the thing is what I found with walking through town was there was very few cars, right? So that in that sense I could see it good, but you just had, you always saw it anyway. You get the massive brand new Range Rover that's just always parked in double yellow lines and fucking across junctions because they don't give a fuck because they're just Tories. They're still there. Just sitting there. Oh, if I can just park here, I just pay the fine. Fuck, it's only 150 quid. Fuck it, that's nothing. I make £3,000 an hour. You know what I mean? Those folk are still get a 2016. I think mine's 2005. Yeah, I'll have to look at it. I don't know. I mean, going into town's maybe not that bad. In saying that, I did manage to drink. I did manage to get pissed last night and had a great laugh. And okay, it was a bit shit not having the. And unfortunately, the drummer couldn't drink. He had to bring his drum kit, even though I wasn't allowed to use their bass amp. But he had to bring his drum kit. He's like, "You want me to take your basses home?" And he took one of the basses in for me. Lovely guy, Alan. Can't say enough about him. We have a predominance of people driving without insurance registration, higher drunk. Yeah, no, it's terrible. I mean, that's something I've never done. The drink driving thing. And the thing is, it doesn't seem to be that bad. I mean, I hear people about getting caught for driving without insurance, tax, or MOT, and it's like they get like a £500 fine, and it's like, what? It seems ridiculous when you're having to pay all that money for all this shit, and then I don't know. It's not right. It's not right. It's a fucking the world is fucked, and everyone's a bastard. It's just the way it works. Right. I'm nearly done. I know I'm half an hour early, but I was drinking last night. Need to ban the big polluters, not charge poor people with no card. Well, that's it. But I mean, it's the whole thing of you've got a low emission zone. If you can just buy your way out of it, I mean, fair enough. Like, say you've got a bona fide reason to be in there. Like for us, you know, poor, playing a gig in town. Can he do that? Right? It's just a shit. I'd driven up to Aberdeen the other night. Mad beer selection in Krakatoa. I had half a pint when I got there. Never asked anything more. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I just remember fucking people used to drink. Oh, but that's it. Like I said, but plus all the pubs, the only way to eat there is to drive. Yes, so I don't. I mean, that's obviously one of the things. Sloan Ranger knows, but the thing about the why is it? How's the air quality got worse? The thing is, like, see, buses are always shit. It's because the private companies that run them don't service them at all. So, like a bus, okay, a bus that I don't know what size engine it's got, like a 3 or 4 litre diesel or something like that, that's never been serviced until it breaks. It's fucking pure killing you. And it's like, well, make them service them so they're working properly. Get the train. So I don't have a fucking. You don't get a train from fucking Milton Campsie. It's like back in the old days. You used to like the pre-Thatcher. There is an old railway line, so there must have been an old railway. Yep. If I could get a railway, that'd be fine. It turned out I bought the fucking wrong ticket. I to get the bus driver took like a whole minute to type in what my ticket was. I didn't really know about buses, and I was like, "For a return it to town." And basically, when I tried to get on the night bus home, was up here, yeah, just to get back to Kirky. This is only a local ticket? I was like, what? It cost me $5.50. Up here, yeah, only got you to Kirky. So what? But the woman, I was happy. To be honest, I don't think the guy that joined really understood what I asked for. But I mean, fucking ridiculous. Yeah, bus carrying 40 people, totally. But you got to realise that these buses companies are all privately owned and run for profit. So if they don't make a profit, they don't run the bus. So if you live, I mean, okay, I'm saying I'm only 2 miles outside civilization. Technically, I could walk. I could walk. You know what I mean? But what happens if you're not able to walk? If you're old or something, you're just fucked. You've got one bus every hour. You've got to pay huge amounts. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to bed because I'm quite steaming. I'm going to be fucking absolutely atrociously drunk tomorrow. Here's a special gift of there's our gig from last night. So you can watch that. And basically, I think it takes about a minute to start, and it's just basically just start to finish. The singing's a bit muffled, but you probably get used to it after by the time it gets halfway through. Oh, where'd you live? The last train is 23.50. That's fucking acceptable, but you've got to have a train that runs to you. And I don't know. I think maybe it's round about that time. Oh, public transport does not pay for itself. Well, yeah. I don't know. I just like, it's like, we'll get the private sector to do it. And it's like, the private sector just squeeze it to get the most money out that you possibly can. It's just fucking, it's a system that can't possibly work. Mabel can get to air later on, but not the connection to Mabel. Yeah. So basically, you just have to either not drink or drive, but you can't drive because suddenly you can't get into town anymore because it's fucking to put in low emission zones. And I totally understand. I totally understand the why you want to have low emission zones and all that. It's totally fine. Yes, we are fucked. The world's going to die. We're burning it up. Yeah, totally. I'm fucking demonetized anyway. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you just got to try and what you need is a hire van and a roadie and a man with a van. Yeah, but I mean, we didn't get paid for doing that gig. Although there was some money, but it wasn't very much. That's only because fucking you've got to invite all your pals. And it's I don't know. Thanks for everyone who came though. I mean, it's fucking awesome. It's quite humbling when you see the man who leads the van. No, I think you can just pay to get the van in, but I don't know. No, you can't drive into town anymore. No, you need to have either a very expensive car or you have to pay fines. So it's totally fine. Yeah, it's like electric and have solar panels. Of course they do. Yeah, because it's not designed. But you got to remember that the people who run all this shit, who make the laws, get brown envelopes with millions of pounds in it to make it so that the people is, you know what I mean? It's fucked. It's fucked. The world is fucked. Whatever I tell every time. I would totally drive an electric car, but I mean, it's like pure. Oh, that's fine. I totally. Yeah, but I don't have 20 grand to buy one, so yeah, it's different, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to put another link in that, and then I'm going to go to bed. So thanks everyone. I'll know how many people have watched this because this is the only place it comes on. 11 people maybe. If you haven't spiked the likes, and thanks everyone. Lots of videos coming up this week. I don't know what they are, but there will be. Rock on. Love you all.